Come on, come on, come on. Come on in here, guys. Let's talk about today's oral argument. I have a few minutes. Let's talk. Let's talk. Come on to Lady D's channel and let's discuss. My girl, Mrs. Clay, if you're out there, I would like for you, since you were actually there, to come on the panel. After we hey B50, what's going on? Let's talk about this oral argument today, guys. I have some time. I do have some time before I have to leave up out of here. So let's talk. Now, well, let's get some more people in before I start yapping. You know how I am. Hello there, Travel the World. Oh, how is it going? How are you? Tropical Punch in the house. What's happening? Our man True, how are you? Big 50. Come on, y'all. Let's come in here. Let's talk about this. I'm sure a lot of people are, discussing this, rightfully so. It's all good. We're all supporters of Robert Sylvester Kelly. So I'm glad he's, what is the word they call trending? I think that is the word they're using. Well, hello there, Janice. How are you? Vicky, how are you? What's happening, everyone? Tamaria, Mrs. Clay, if you're out there, I know you are actually in the courtroom today. I would love for you to come on the panel to give us your take of what actually went on. I did have the opportunity to listen to the audio of the argument. So let's talk, guys. Anyone else had an opportunity to hear the recording? Let me know if you didn't. Let me know. Come on in. Man, from what I heard, it's typical shit with this government, man. Before I start talking, Tamaria, are you out here? Are you in the chat anywhere? Give me 1 second, guys. Let me see where she's at. I want her to come on the panel only because she was actually there. I got the audio. You didn't hear it? Okay, let's see. Because I do have. Let me see something. You didn't hear it? You listen? So what was your take on it, Lovable? Oh, you hear? Awesome. Let me bring Tamaria up on the panel because she was actually there. I was not able to make it due to, my personal situation involving my husband. But like I said, I did hear the audio. And what I gathered, I think Jennifer did an awesome job, to be honest. I mean, when it's an appeal situation, it's hard to decipher who's winning. You know what I'm saying? Because when they're talking. Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you, Tamaria. How are you? Hey, Melissa. Melissa, if you want to come on the panel, I think
you're Lady D
as well. Would you like to come on the panel and give us your take? If not, I understand, but I'm going to put it in there anyway.
Can you hear me, Lady D?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can. And I did hear the audio. It was impressive to me. As far as Jennifer, now the government, in my opinion, I hate when people downplay serious shit like it's nothing, like we're wasting our time, and that's what I got from the prosecution. Am I wrong? The people that were there?
No, you're not wrong.
Or the one that heard the recording? But Jennifer,
you're not wrong.
But Jennifer came back on their ass though, and made, yes, I know a lot of people were complaining about the judge. How many were on the panel? Was it just one?
3.
It was 3. Were there any
2
male?
ladies and 1 man. 1 man he was at the if you turn he was on the left, the far left. He was he didn't say anything. The middle person lady, the middle judge, she spoke just briefly, but the one that was on the end, she was making, asking all the questions.
She's the one that would, yeah, and one of them sort of threw me because when the prosecution was talking and was trying to make a point as far as this, was it, I don't want to get it right. He was speaking
the
on
the
second, yeah, it could have been that. I want to say when he was saying part 1, there's no need to go to part 2, right? So you remember that conversation?
Yes, I remember that when he was talking about the caseload. Jennifer said it was a lot of caseload stuff that they was talking about.
That's what the appeal is basically all about.
Yeah, a lot of caseload. Mm-hmm.
So now when he was saying that, the judge was like, well, what do you mean? You can't ignore it too, right? So, but when Jennifer come back to address that, then the judge was like, well, what about part 2? So that, can you clear that up for me? I got confused.
Well, let her know that, both of us agreed that it's no need to go to part 2. Right. She agreed. She said why she was wondering, like, why you bringing that back up? Both of us agreed. Me and the government agreed that there's no need to go back to part 2. Did you remember her saying that?
Yeah. But my point was that judge, when he brought it up, she acted like that was important. But when Jennifer brought it up, she was like, that confused me there. Am I the only one on that point? Am I the only one that stood out? Let me see it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. That's me putting my link. I understand, Melissa. Thank you. I appreciate that. I got you. Understand. That's understandable. It seems like a few of you guys have not heard the audio. Okay, let me see if I can. Oh, I wish I knew the start.
Can you play it?
I know, but do you know the starting point?
Let me get it. I know it, but she was the first person. She was the first person. Let me get on it for you. Hold on. Because it's a lot of
second, guys. We're gonna do the live so you guys can hear it and we can talk about it. Because you know me, I start hearing shit and I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell you mean? And just so you guys know, because I know someone in the chat is asking, how do you think it, when it's an appeal situation, it's hard to tell. They're not going to lead on. You just got to go by what's being said. I was impressed by Jennifer, me, myself. I thought she held it down. But it seemed like they were more stuck on the sentencing guidelines. Am I right or no?
Yeah, because Jennifer said, because she was trying to say, like, if we do send this back down, do you think that he would get a higher, you know what I'm saying? That the judge would give him some higher, you know what I'm saying? Because he did make it consecutive. So she was trying to but Jennifer was like, well, she was saying that she don't think that would be the problem because
the audio, guys, I'm gonna play it and we can all listen to it together. It's not long. It's very short, but they had to speak fast, because they only limited. The time is very limited to get the key points out there. And as far as when will we know? It varies. It really does. It can take from 90 days to a damn year. You know what I'm saying? And some cases even longer, but I don't think that would apply to R. Kelly's case. In my opinion, though. I'm just speaking from my opinion. All right, Janice, we working on it. Did you find it? Because where I'm at.
I got to go to 101:13.
Okay. 1 second, guys. We're going to pull this up. 101. Our position is That's just Jennifer. I want them to hear. Oh, okay, it's just started. Come on. Because I want them to also hear the government. So the government.
Yeah, Jennifer starts first, and then the government goes after her.
Okay. All right.
So
let me send this where let me send this to myself. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to hook it up where there's no problems where you guys can hear this. I want to share this. All right. Let me go here. So keep talking, Tamaria, because you were actually there. Did she have a red bottoms, girl? Because when she wore them red bottoms, she had to kick ass.
Yeah, she had on her red bottoms, y'all. I got a picture. We'll take a picture with her.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. I'm going to share it. Yeah. But I was so happy to get that audio because you know me. You know I wanted to be there. Let me do this.
Like you said, they didn't ask a lot of questions because they really had everything. They just wanted to see, we're all about to
hear about what happened.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, but she had on tan, like a tan pair of pants and like a tan and black.
Oh my girl, I love the picture you took with her.
That's my girl.
I'm telling you,
I told her I appreciate what she's doing for Mr. Kelly. I am a supporter of Mr. Kelly, and I will support him. As long as
why not? Shit, he ain't done shit.
Yeah,
to the girl, end. I was on Twitter, right? And this damn Chicago Tribune ass report, I snapped on his ass. I couldn't help it. And I usually don't say nothing. But it pisses me off when they say disgraced R&B star or disgrace. That's your damn personal opinion. So who are you to speak for all of us? You see what I'm saying? I went off. I kind of did.
That's right. How you can't speak for how we feel.
I told his ass.
We feel he's not guilty. Just because you feel he guilty, don't mean we feel he is.
I told his ass, you so-called damn reporters, why don't you report your subjects without putting your personal shit, adding your personal feelings to some shit? You're a reporter. Report the damn news without... I don't agree that he's a damn disgrace. I didn't like that. I don't, girl, just come from nowhere. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. I couldn't. That pissed me off. Like, what the hell? Okay, guys, I got to put this in the browser. I have it here. I thought this shit was going to just open up. So I'm going to definitely mute because you know how I get. Oh, and I got it right there. Let me share the screen. Let me share. Tamaria, thank you so much for coming on the panel. I truly appreciate it. Thank all of you guys for hopping over to
I guess we'll all be listening to watching in New York next month. We'll all be watching because I'm not going to New York. I refuse to go there.
Oh, I'm so happy. Well, yeah, because it's so weird the way it's worded, but I think it will also be, even if it's in person, if you want to appear via Zoom, I truly believe that is possible. So
it may be the same way. It may be streaming like this. It's going to be streaming most likely.
Okay. All right, guys. I think I have it. Please let me know if you can hear, because you know how I am with this shit. Let me know if you can hear it, because I want you to hear everything so we can discuss everything. So here we go.
The Honorable Judges for the United States Court.
Can you hear before it goes any further? Can you hear?
Theory. All persons having business before this Honorable Court are admonished to draw near and get their attention, as the Court is now sitting. God save the United States and this Honorable Court.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Our first case for argument this morning is United States against Kelly. Ms. Bungie.
Thank you and good morning, Your Honors. May it please the court, my name is Jennifer Bonjean and I represent Robert Kelly. I am going to work backwards this morning and start by addressing the sentencing issue, but happy to field questions about any of the issues before the court. Mr. Kelly was indicted in a 13-count indictment. He was convicted of 6 counts. He was acquitted of 7 of those counts, including obstruction of justice based on a 2008 state court prosecution, conspiracy to receive child pornography, and then the receipt counts. Mr. Kelly was sentenced to a 240-month sentence, which was the statutory maximum, and a sentence significantly above the guideline range. And the district court judge properly calculated the guidelines, but then gave just essentially a polite nod to them and decided, I think 20 years is the right sentence. And the district court's justification for the above guidelines range lacked sufficient factual basis. And that is our position. Generally speaking, he relied on acquitted conduct, and he relied on the guidelines today would punish this more severely. Therefore, we should give him an above guidelines range. Now, I want to first start with the acquitted conduct. If you look at the district court's comments, he both imprecisely and inaccurately stated that the evidence presented at Kelly's trial essentially showed that he engaged in some type of obstructive behavior.
Ms. Bonjean, do we know, though, that the district court actually relied on that? Because the district court said, I could find by a preponderance that he obstructed justice.
And
There
yes,
was
that's an
no specific finding that he did.
Yes, and that's an excellent point, Your Honor. Our position is the judge was imprecise. He vaguely referenced, I could do this. It could be based on
But
this.
you want us to infer from that he actually did.
Well,
And what's the basis to do that, given the judge's specific comments?
Well, I think what I would like the court to do is first find that his comments were too vague and ambiguous for us to find that what he relied on. And I think in our briefs, we said it was both procedurally improper. And then we argued that even if you accept the government's position that there was this basis, the judge did make this finding. And the comments were sort of a little bit of a stream of consciousness, if you will. And he said, I could do it. So our position, as our briefs, I think, set forth, is that it wasn't precise enough. He didn't identify the factual basis. But even if we looked at those factors, they would not provide a basis for an above guidelines range.
The district court sentencing seemed very grounded in the 3553 factors and his concern for the seriousness of this offense and your client's history and characteristics, which is exactly what courts must do, is look at the 3553 factors. How do you get around that?
Well, I think you still have to look at the guidelines range as a starting point. And I would remind the court that probation found that there was no basis to sentence him above the guidelines. And
But that's not determinative.
Of course.
The court has to look at 3553, which again, the court spent quite a bit of time on those factors, in particular, the seriousness of the offense, the need for deterrence here, protecting the public.
And those were all appropriate factors to look at. But when a court decides to go 72 months above a guidelines range, it still should identify factually specific aggravating factors that would justify it, not simply say there was this acquitted conduct that I could find. And again, our position is the government did not prove the acquitted conduct by a preponderance of the evidence. We know that because the jury acquitted him of the conspiracy to receive child pornography. So this wild goose chase that the judge referenced as sort of a basis for this above guidelines range is not borne out at all. In fact, the jury affirmatively rejected the government's narrative.
Different burden of proof.
I understand, but it's not logical. We sometimes see cases where maybe the government just didn't meet its burden, right? We can't assume that the jury would have not found it by the lower standard. But in this case, we can tell very clearly that they did not find that those tapes that were the subject of the wild goose chase were child pornography. If they had, they would have at least convicted Mr. Kelly of the conspiracy count. It's the same child pornography. They looked at the images on related to counts 2 and 3. They found it to be child pornography. And then they acquitted him of the conspiracy.
Ms. Bonjean, if we agree with you and send this back for resentencing, does your client realize he could end up worse off? Because the court did go above the guidelines, But very significantly, only 1 year is consecutive to the sentence that your client received in New York. So theoretically, if it's remanded for resentencing because of an error and the court gives a guideline sentence, which is what you seem to be arguing the court should have given, that entire guideline sentence could be consecutive or half of it or more than a year, which would put your client in a worse position. So does your client realize that?
Yes, Judge. I do think that if the net result was a more significant sentence, it would be retaliatory for exercising his right to appeal. So I don't think the judge could, and I frankly don't think the
Well,
judge,
the judge
would do
certainly could. If it's sent back for resentencing, the judge could start over and look at everything. So to say it would be retaliatory, there's no grounds for that or no case law that would support giving a higher sentence or a sentence that would have a more significant consequence.
Well, I think the second point is a more, I think, a valid point to some degree, but I do think there's plenty of case law that says you can't punish someone for exercising their right to an appeal, right? So if the judge were to give a net greater sentence, our position would be that that was retributive.
I just want to make sure your client understands that if he wins on this particular point, he has risks that he might get a higher consecutive sentence.
Yes, Judge, and frankly, to be frank, kind of all depends on what happens in the Eastern District, because that's
That's
where,
on appeal. I understand.
that's his life sentence, right there. Essentially, it's a 30-year sentence. So, not to say this doesn't matter, but if that sentence sticks, he probably will die in prison, and that is the reality. So. We have had these conversations if the court, is asking that, and we understand that. We had those conversations before we even went to trial, frankly, and he understands all of that. I would argue, and just moving on to, again, the general proposition that the general proposition that modern guidelines can just provide a basis for giving an above guideline sentence does run afoul of the ex post facto clause, where the district court is not pointing to some specific aggravating factor. For example,
would we have to overrule Coe to find for you where we said it's okay to look to guideline amendments to justify a variance?
No, not at all. In fact, I think the court should rely on Coe. It's okay to look at amendments. That's perfectly okay. You can look at an amendment, but that's not what happened here. So, for instance, if the applicable guidelines didn't take into account, this is not the case, but for instance, the age of the victim, and modern guidelines do take account the age of the victim, then it would be appropriate under Coe to say, I'm going to rely on the age of the victim as a basis for going above the guidelines. But here, what we have is sort of this general idea that modern guidelines are more harsh. We care more about child pornography now, and modern guidelines are more serious. Or punish the conduct more severely. This is just an end run around the ex post facto prohibition. So if the court could have gotten there, but there needed to be some precise basis, and neither the court, the government, or probation, really anyone has identified a specific aggravating factor that was not addressed in the applicable guidelines. And that is the reason that this is just a Pew violation rather than a proper basis for going above the guidelines. I have about 1 minute left. I want to briefly touch on the statute of limitations issue, which I think the court is probably well versed in. But the point I want to make is that the government seems to think that so long as retroactive application doesn't violate the ex post facto clause, it's good, no problem.
And you're not arguing otherwise, correct?
I'm not arguing otherwise. What I am saying is that we still have to start with looking at what Congress intended. And that first starts with the language that's used by Congress in the statute itself, which is the best indicator of Congress's intent. And then you can also look at the legislative history. And our position is not only did the statute use language like would and shall, which we know is future type of language, but it contains no language about retroactivity. And in fact, There was language, a prior version of the bill did include language of retroactivity that was excised in the final bill. So I think we could see that Congress intended this to apply prospectively. I see that my time is up. I can address any further arguments on rebuttal. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Williamson.
Good morning. May it please the court, Brian Williamson on behalf of the United States. The district court did not procedurally err and did not abuse its discretion with regards to the substantive reasonableness of defendant's 240-month above guidelines sentence. The district court started with defendant's proposed guidelines range and then went above those guidelines range upon a thorough explanation of the 3553A factors. As such, the primary basis for the above guideline sentence was the court's finding that the offense conduct was horrible, horrific, and deserving of very, very serious consequences for Mr. Kelly. I think the court has already picked up on that. Defense counsel loses the forest for the trees a little bit in arguing that the above guideline sentence was based solely and exclusively on the obstructive conduct. And
Is it your view, Mr. Williamson, that the court did rely on the obstruction of justice conduct in imposing sentence?
Your Honor, so I think it's important to clarify that the starting point was adopting defendant's guidelines range. And
But
then
as a basis to vary.
I think it was a data point in justifying the above guideline sentence. It was not, neither were imposed specifically as a mechanical basis to vary above.
And can you distinguish for me between what you mean by a data point and a basis to vary?
Right, Your Honor. So
Did the court
there's,
consider it? It's hard to tell from the court's comment that it could consider. And I'm not sure there's any specific finding by a preponderance of the evidence as to why the obstruction of justice conduct occurred, or that the government did prove it by a preponderance of the evidence.
yes, Your Honor. So, the sentencing court found by a preponderance of an evidence that obstructive conduct occurred. Now, whether that comprised a specific part of the above guideline sentence or whether that was a further justification aligned with the seriousness of the offense conduct, the sentencing transcript does leave that a little bit ambiguous. But it's clear that on the offense conduct alone, the 3553A factors alone, and the seriousness of the conduct, the court could have arrived at the 240-month above guideline sentence by itself. So
just to pin this down with clarity, your position is that Judge Lynam-Weber made the findings necessary to consider the obstructive conduct.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
So as to the obstructive conduct, per this court's precedent, it is not in dispute that a district court may consider acquitted conduct as long as it is proven by a preponderance of the evidence. And that's exactly what the district court did here. Moreover, it's clear what the sentencing court was referring to. He noted a Keystone Cop kind of operation in which these tapes spread throughout the country. And Kelly's minions spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in effort trying to get them back. This is not just about the receipt of the tapes. This is about a broader sense of obstructive conduct. If you read the sentencing transcript in whole, it is quite clear that, as the government argued, there was a broader set of obstructive conduct that was in the court's mind when he made those comments. That included conversations that Kelly, the defendant, and his associates had with Jane's parents during the course of the investigation. The result of those comments, including Jane's family's non-participation in the grand jury and subsequent 2008 state trial, payments made to Jane's father during that time period, and others. The burden on the sentencing court to justify an above guideline sentence is not high, and it was more than met here by the court's consideration of the 3553A factors. Moreover, it's also not in dispute that there was no ex post facto violation in the court's reference to the evolution of the sentencing guidelines on sex offenses. Defendant concedes as much in his papers. Your Honor, you mentioned the Coe case, and that's exactly on point here. It actually encourages reference to amendments to the guidelines without reading into the limitations that defense reads into it that those should be used by later sentencing courts in considering whether their sentences meet what Congress was intending. So at end, the sentencing court based its 240-month above guideline sentence primarily on defendant's horrific offense conduct, not in particular on either his obstruction of justice or the evolution of the guidelines. The sentence was thus procedurally and substantively sound. Turning to the statute of limitations question, defendant's indictment for sexual exploitation and inducement of children was timely brought. The statute of limitations period as to defendant's victims never expired, and at the time of the offense conduct, prosecutions were viable until the victims turned 25. But before Jane, Nia, or Pauline reached the age of 25, Congress in 2003 expanded the statute of limitations period to the life of the child. This was unambiguous. Section 3283 states that no statute of limitations that would otherwise preclude prosecution for an offense involving sexual exploitation of a child shall preclude such prosecution during the life of the child. This is a universal approach to changing the statute of limitations. It's forward-leaning and it's backward-leaning. There is and can be no ex post facto violation when an otherwise viable statute of limitations period, such as we have here, is expanded. Multiple courts of appeal agree on that front. And while this court has yet to have occasion to review that specific question with regards to that specific statute, 18 U.S.C. 3283, it is nonetheless agreed with the principle that no constitutional violation occurs in these circumstances. That's the United States versus Gibson case, relying on Supreme Court precedent in Stodner. The application of 18 U.S.C. 3283 should thus not be considered impermissibly retroactive. It is not reviving a previously moribund limitations period. Instead, it is explicitly precluding the application of prior limitations periods that were anything less than for the life of the child. The indictment
Are
in
you
this case.
saying that the land graph analysis doesn't matter given Gibson?
I wouldn't
Because
set
it seems
aside.
like it's a separate issue. The Gibson is the ex post facto argument, and defendant has conceded that's not what he's pursuing on appeal. Instead, he's arguing the statutory construction, that if you look at Congress's intent and look at the framework under land graph, that Congress's intent was not to make this retroactive, which is a separate issue.
Your Honor, I think the language of the statute speaks unambiguously, and we don't even have to get to what the underlying intent of Congress was. It's hard to read 3283 in a manner that doesn't apply both backwards and forwards. If we do apply land graph, it satisfies both the first step and the second step.
Defendant spent a lot of time in the brief focusing on the Tousi case and the statements that statute of limitations should be liberally interpreted in favor of repose in criminal cases in particular. Can you respond to that argument, please?
Yes, Your Honor, absolutely. So the Tousi case and its progeny, that's a fine statement of what Tousi stands for, but there's always a carve out for when Congress explicitly provides for otherwise. And it's the government's position that that's exactly what 18 U.S.C. 3283 does.
What if we get to step 2 of land graph? How would Tousi impact that analysis?
So in a sense, defense is asking for a kind of an exception that doesn't exist with that. Reading repose into the second step of Tousi, in defense's brief, they set out that this creates, there's a broader set of rights and obligations in that than are provided specifically in the second step of land graph. I wouldn't say we need to reach the second step of land graph because step 1 is satisfied given the unambiguous nature of the statute. And
But if we do,
as to step 2, if there is no retroactivity problem, we're not even in step 2 of land graph. And I'm not sure they've pointed to a case that says that the repose considerations in Tousi supersede the satisfaction of steps 1 and 2 of land graph. So if the court doesn't have any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bonjean.
Thank you. Picking up where my colleague left off, our position, of course, is that it is not okay to just jump to the ex post facto problem. And we disagree on how, the language of the statute and what it suggests. We have express language from the bill version that demonstrates a desire to include a retroactivity provision that was then removed. Now, retroactivity doesn't mean an ex post facto violation. And retroactivity could be an ex post facto violation, but it doesn't mean an ex post facto violation. And so we are in this category where we acknowledge that the government, that this was not, again, a situation where the statute of limitations has expired, but it was still retroactive. And there are still considerations that this court considered, and that the United States Supreme Court has said the starting place. And in Landgraf, the court says the default position is prospectivity. So we shouldn't start with the retroactivity unless otherwise. 2C says criminal statutes should be interpreted in favor of repose. So those general principles, those canons, need to be the starting point. And I think lower courts, to some degree, have gone wayward from that. I think the U.S. Supreme Court might get us back on track with that. And I know some
But
of
if
these,
the language is clear at step 1, that doesn't come into play.
well, the language,
I understand you don't think it's clear.
Well, I think it's clear in the other direction, but
But if it is not clear in the direction you want it to be, then we don't get into the 2C land.
well, our position is that the legislative history, we also agree that you don't need to get to step 2. So we're in agreement on that. But, and obviously we would acknowledge that some of these circuits have already sided with the government's position on this. The issue is in front of the Second Circuit presently. So
I don't think any circuit has sided with your
You're right.
position. Yeah.
yeah, that's correct. But perhaps there will be a split at some point. But our position is that the U.S. Supreme Court would see this differently in light of those general principles, and that we need to start there. And I think the court is well equipped with the information that we've provided and the government's provided to make that decision. I want to get back to this obstructive conduct very quickly. I'm still unclear. I think the government is unclear. Everyone is unclear on how the court reached the above guidelines sentence. And I don't think it's sufficient to just say, well, he spent a lot of time talking or speaking about the 3553 factors, and therefore it's all justified. I think that's dangerous. And I think the court needed to be a little more precise with its factual basis. And notably, the government is focusing this court more on a different set of obstructive conduct for which Mr. Kelly was also acquitted, that the district court didn't even mention. The government talks about the intimidating behavior, the hush money towards Jane Doe and her family. And in our reply brief, we honed in and demonstrated for the court that is not what the evidence showed. Jane Doe said nothing of the sort. She said there was no hush money. The mother unequivocally said there was no hush money to testify falsely in front of the grand jury. Nothing of the sort happened. They had their own reasons for wanting to not cooperate with the investigation, and it wasn't as a result of Mr. Kelly's conduct. Now, the government, interestingly, is focusing that court in that direction, but the district court didn't mention it at all. So the district court didn't rely. At no point did the district court say, I'm going to give him an above guidelines range because he engaged in obstructive conduct as it relates to his interactions with Jane Doe 1 or her family. He was more focused on really what was the receipt counts about this wild goose chase. And I want to end on the point that the evidence showed that those tapes that were the subject of the wild goose chase, which were pled and charged in the indictment, did not contain child pornography, contained old-fashioned pornography, if you will. It did not contain child pornography, and the government didn't prove it, which is why the jury came back as it did. And there is really no avenue for the court to find under this lower standard that it did. If it did, then it's unclear why the jury would ever have acquitted any of them on the conspiracy count. So our position is the district court judge got that wrong factually, if he relied on it at all, and that the sentencing justification was too nebulous and that we needed a more precise basis, because how else can Mr. Kelly defend that if he doesn't have a specific articulated basis? With that, I thank your honors.
Thank you. Our thanks to all counsel. The case is taken under advisement.
All right, there it is. You all heard it. And that is the Illinois oral argument. So let's talk. I mean, we were
Well,
doing some
I
chatting
think
over
that
here.
they're going to favor and Mr. Kelly favor because they was only talking about the sentencing part. You see what I'm saying? The rest of that part was, could be thrown out. That's just my opinion.
No, you're absolutely right. That is what they. But what I'm not happy about, this new sentencing shit. If they did agree, damn that. You know what I'm saying? Let that man resentence for what?
First of all, if they
You're
take
not
it back down,
resentencing for time served.
if
I
they send it back down to the court, they have to. If they retrying it, which I know they're not gonna retry that mess because they not gonna come and testify because Jennifer gonna get them.
Negative. I want him out because I'm sorry, Tamara. Let me read what Harriet is saying. I'm not being negative. No, but that was negative energy. I wasn't calling you negative. I'm saying we know how the judges and the prosecutor, we know that. I'm not trying to throw nothing negative out there. I like putting positive energy out there. Let that override what it could or should have. We don't care about that. That's all I'm saying, Harriet. That's all I was saying. We ain't talking about what now. No, I was not saying you were negative. I don't want no negativity. I don't want that energy. That's all I'm saying. We know that. Majority of the time, I don't even know why they even have the damn defense because it always seems like the judges go with the damn prosecution any damn way. I think they try to take it off by putting the damn this fake ass jury pool where those people don't understand half of the shit that's before them making decisions on people's lives. That's where all of it's twisted to me. That's all. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, absolutely. But yeah, we know how they always with the lower court. And if you think about it, that's true. That's why she spoke on the Supreme Court, because this shit may have to go to the Supreme Court. So, we know that. We know that. Hopefully it doesn't. That's how I don't even like thinking like that. I don't, man. I'm positive. This shit is ridiculous. I don't think it should have ever gotten to this point, in my opinion. That's all a bunch of BS. And like she said, they only talking about the sentencing. I thought the shit was going to be more in depth of all that BS that was going on in that damn courtroom, not the sentencing guidelines. I had no idea that was going to be basically the subject damn matter. I didn't know that.
Right. Because they know the whole thing was a bunch of bull crap. And they was trying to put fear in Jennifer because they might have to, send it back down or throw that stuff out. They might have to retry it.
I was thrown where that was like the damn focus, man. I didn't know. So I'm totally confused about it. But the woman did what she can do with the time she had to do it. And she made a point. That's why I say, tell her ass, Jennifer. Yeah, she tried to talk over her, but Jennifer came back on her ass.
Yeah,
so
she said,
it's on the record. If the shit has to go to even a higher court.
Absolutely.
You people got to think like that, huh?
I was looking at her when the man was talking. She wasn't feeding into that mess, though. The judge wasn't feeding into it.
Oh, that's right. You were actually there to get the feel.
Yeah. That's why I really was like
in the courtroom. Okay.
That's she when he was talking, she was like, I'm looking at her. She wasn't, there go Dottie. She wasn't.
Hey, Dottie, would you like to come on the panel? I have a quick question for you. But if you don't, I understand, Oh, wait a minute. Let me take this off here. Because I know a lot of you guys, do not like this damn panel for some reason. But I just have a quick question. If you're able to come up, if not, that's fine.
She
But
said
I
that's
just
okay.
wanted to, because
She
she
said
was
yeah.
also there
She
with
said
other.
yeah.
Oh, awesome. I just put the link in there, Dottie. Appreciate that.
It
Well,
was 3 judges, and when we spoke to Jennifer, Jennifer was like, they look like they ready to make their decision. It was like, because it
so
was
if
really
that's
like
the
you
case,
said.
they may have that decision within the
Yeah,
90 days, if not soon.
absolutely.
But I
Yeah.
hope it's
So,
in Robert's way, but
and she
not for a
said they
new
got
child.
months or maybe a year, but she said it looked like they, them women, they ain't not going to take a long time to make their decision.
And I know. So what was the man to be there? So can't nobody come back and say it was prejudice because it was all the damn women. See, my mind goes all kind of ways, man. What
I
you
don't know.
sent your ass up there for, and you didn't have any questions.
He
So
was an
that was
older
to
man,
say, oh Lord, was
older
he older
man.
than Lynn Weber ass?
He was old. He was
Oh
up there.
Lord, oh Lord.
He looked like he was in his 70s and
Robert,
80s.
Hey Dottie.
Hey,
How are you, Dottie?
I am blessed. How are y'all?
I'm
Good, good.
good. Blessed as well, girl. I also heard that you were there. So, what is your take on what you observed inside the courtroom?
So pretty much, there was, if y'all are familiar with the brief and everything that Jennifer put into the brief, she wasn't able to touch on everything that she put in the brief. So she mainly focused on the obstruction.
Okay.
Because you got to think about it. The obstruction is what he got the over the guideline sentencing for. That's what he was given the
What?
extra 240 months for. So she focused more on that. Yes, she was interrupted a lot because in her brief, what the judge was saying, well, you said that based off of Judge Lyndon Weber's comments is the reason why he gave him the extra 240 months. And Jennifer was like, yeah, because there was no other reason basically to sentence him over extensively like that. And so what that judge was trying to say was, no, well, it seemed to me like the judge based it more on the acts. But at the end of the day, it was acts that he was found not guilty of. So that's pretty much what her argument was. There was a lot of case law. I plan on going live a little bit later because I want to look up those things before I actually bring it to you guys. But there was a lot of case law that was discussed. The statute of limitations, what the Congress intended when they changed that law. So that stuff was all brought in. What I feel
I want to, because I remember when that happened with that law change thing, because that was a big ass issue, because he didn't have to accept that. He chose to accept that. He could have gone with the original, and that really pissed me off. I remember that.
Yeah, because
he made it retroactive.
Yeah, and the guidelines he gave him now, it was a lot stricter than back in the day. Had he been charged with this, some of this stuff probably would have been probationary, whereas now you're getting 20 years for it.
I had no idea
he brought that up.
And like Jennifer said, we have to keep in mind that you're basing everything on child pornography, but the government did not meet its burden of proof when it came to that there was child pornography on those tapes.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I didn't know it wasn't no child pornography on the tapes.
It wasn't. She said that. She said it was pornography. She was old school pornography. Shit is basically what she said.
Right, old fashioned pornography is
what was exactly.
So,
got that 100-year-old ass man sitting up there ain't saying shit.
Take some notes. So what she said exactly word for word, I got it in my notes. But she pretty much said, "You seem like you've already the court seemed like they've already made that decision, and that's fine. We'll take it up in the Supreme Court."
Exactly, and even through when all this was happening, when I went back to Bill Cosby, and I was like, "Oh shit," because when I looked, she was at the Supreme, man. She won at this level of the court. She had to take the shit to the Supreme Court because that level of the court agreed, just like Harriet said, agreed with those assholes. So when she took it to the Supreme Court, that's what got them out of there. Because just like she said, the Supreme Court would disagree with what you basically saying, Your Honor. So yeah, I just really hate that, man. I hope it doesn't get to that. But you could, I don't know. It's just the feel I got of it. Was just so damn rushed to me. You know, I don't know. That's just my opinion.
You said who? I'm sorry, Lady D. You said who was me?
I say it was it seemed like it was rushed to me. It seemed like, just like Jennifer said, it seemed like your decision. But even when the guy was telling him, he was so nonchalant about the shit. It's like they had a discussion before the shit even started.
Well,
Which I know they didn't. I'm just saying. It's like he knew they had a win. Why are we basically here talking about this shit? Because we know we didn't air anywhere in the lower court. That's what I got from his ass.
You talking about the prosecutor when he gave his
yeah, when he did their side, yeah.
Well, what I got from that is they didn't really put up a fight.
That's my point.
They didn't put up a fight at all. So I don't think it was that they didn't put up a fight because they knew they won. I think they didn't put up a fight because they knew what's the purpose of going through all this again.
Right, because they feel they presented their case without any error. We're saying the exact same thing.
But the part that they was referring to was the part that the prosecution lost. You see what I'm saying? They didn't win. He was found not guilty of obstruction of justice and conspiracy. So those were the hard hits that they took. And I think they just gave up on it because they knew the evidence. They did not have the evidence to support their claims. So what they would have said in the appeal court wouldn't have even mattered. He was found not guilty at the end of the day by a jury of his peers.
That's basically, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm just confused by the whole damn thing. Because what they were focusing on, I don't know what I expected. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know. Yes. And of course, yes, they did read the brief. So they know what the points were. But what was presented to try to overturn something, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. But one thing that came out, I didn't know he went over 72 damn months of the guidelines. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I know he went over, but I didn't know he went over 72 months.
Mm-hmm. He went over 240. It was like, no, his total was 240, and it was a little bit over 72.
Yeah, that's what she said. He went 72 months above the guideline range. I was like, whoa, I had no idea. That I knew he overreached, but I didn't know I had no idea it was 70.
Yeah, I had mentioned before, like I think he would have ended up, instead of a 20-year sentence, he probably would have been
I think that's why she was stressing it, because they have to send it back. It's gonna be overturned and sent back because he did go over the guidelines, and she was saying that he's gonna be mad because they're gonna send it back.
Yeah. Damn, I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? What were your points on it? What you heard, Dottie? I can imagine what your notes were, girl, because you the best notes damn take I ever come across.
Yeah, she was right, y'all. I was looking.
Girl, I know, baby. She's one of the best. She does not miss a beat, and I love you for that, Dottie. I really do, girl. I can't wait. It's like you really appreciate you. It's like you missed your calling.
Trying to get home, so I can.
All right, I know there's some things I missed, so I definitely be waiting for you to come on and give because I want to hear your notes. But just from what I gathered, that's what I was saying. I think I was so stuck on. It was so much that went on, and just to be focusing on the sentencing guidelines.
Because they already know the other stuff.
That's what. Yeah, I guess so. I guess that. Yeah. So.
They already made
Yeah.
their decision on that mess.
She may
They
have
would
to
just,
go to the
they were
Supreme.
just kind of like, why is she like bringing? Why did Jennifer put the sentencing in there? So that's what they were trying to figure out. But she told them why.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
that
feel like
judge.
they didn't
So
prove,
did you
they
get
didn't
what I
prove
was
it.
saying,
They
Dottie,
didn't
when
prove
they
it.
were talking about, okay, well, why would, okay, he covered it in one, when the prosecution was talking, and they were talking about in this one particular statute, it was all covered in one, so why go to two? You remember that?
Yeah, that was they was talking about the Tutsi law, and that's another thing that I want to. That's why I pushed the live back, because I want to make sure I read up on all of that first, just to get a better
Okay.
understanding, and I
Okay.
want to get that case law that they was referring to in there,
Okay.
so I can break it down a little bit better. But that was Tutsi law that they was talking about.
The Tutsi law. And so now when he was saying that, she was saying, the judge was like, well, how can you not go to the second part of that particular statute? She was that, telling him, no,
Yeah,
you just can't say we can just go with one. But when Jennifer came with the same thing, it was like she flipped it. Like, well, you can't forget about part two. I mean, the judge confused me on that point.
yeah, that, and I put that in my notes. I don't want to speak on that now because I just don't want to say nothing wrong.
Okay, all right, I'll see. What time you think you'll be on?
I think we scheduled it for 4.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I hope I can catch it. If not, I'll catch your replay.
Okay.
Because I definitely I was wondering if that was just me that caught. I'm like,
Lolo said, "What time can you catch the live?"
oh, that's okay. I'll catch your replay because my schedule is crazy right now. So
Okay.
that's okay. If I don't catch you at 4, I can get you. I'll watch the replay.
See, Lady D, how much I admire
I
you.
will tell y'all.
Who is that?
Lady D, see how much I admire you.
Who is that?
That's Lolo. That's Daddy Lolo.
Able to catch it live.
You what? Wait a
Lolo
minute.
was there too.
Important you is to me, Lady D.
Wait a minute, Lolo. What'd you say?
I was willing to set the time back just so that you can catch the live.
Oh, you guys are too awesome. I love it. No, man. So, Dottie, once again, thank you as always, girl. I was so happy to hear that you were there because I would never forget the awesome job you did covering both of those trials, man.
New York too, and I really appreciate that. We all should be uplifting and supporting each other like this.
Man, I swear, I was just
It's the
talking
only
about
way.
that. Yes, it's because we all are on here for the same purpose.
Same purpose.
So I don't really get the division, but that's okay. It's just not me. So
Right.
I can't get it, I don't even
Right.
entertain that. But I really wish, I was just talking about that the other day, how people that's on YouTube, they don't know how powerful YouTube could really be if they came a different way about certain things that they do on here.
Exactly.
Because I find it like Black news, and we can get some awesome news, both sides of the news that you don't get in main media. If it wasn't so much division, this would be the go-to place, but it's just too messy. People not seeing it. Like, everybody got their own opinion of YouTube. Because when I came on, it was you and Sylvia for me, man. You guys, whew, that New York, oh my God.
Yeah,
That was,
yeah.
man, that New York, you guys showed your behinds, baby. You kept it real. You kept it real.
Dottie, she read that stuff like she was the attorney saying it, like she was saying it. She had it.
Man, it was so impressive. So I got to give you your flowers for that, man. And I just wish there were other on here like that, because this could be a hell of a platform for Black news. That's all I'm trying to say.
Lady D.
Uh-huh.
Look at it this way. Like, the people that's doing the division, those people are not needed anyway.
I know, but I'm just saying that's those bodies we could use, though. Those are voices that could be used. That's all I'm saying. Because we don't never get the true things on main media. And I did not know that until I got introduced to Dottie and Sylvia. See, I didn't know about bloggers and stuff didn't have a clue, didn't even know it existed. My stance on YouTube was to upload me singing some shit every blue moon. I've been on here since 2015, and I had no idea that this section even existed. So I was so happy to get real information about Robert once his cases started. This was my go-to. I couldn't wait to get home from work so I can get on here and see to catch up.
Wow.
I wasn't getting it. And that's what I hate, that seems to me that's gone. And I miss it so much.
Yeah, I agree.
I appreciate you, Dottie, just so you know.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you as well, because I say Lady D gonna set it straight. She don't play no games.
And I'm just
Straight
speaking,
shooter.
I'm just speaking about the drama,
Yeah, and that's just not me. I don't know if that's age or whatever, but drama just brings more drama. It doesn't solve anything for me. I'm about information, real shit, not BS. You know what I'm saying? Just never been about any of that. I like the truth, and I hate I can't come on here like I did a couple of years ago. And man, this YouTube was, man, you guys were popping with R. Kelly. I swear. Woo, the man, I would take this information, and that's how I started my own channel, really, because I was taking your information and just recording videos. I didn't used to come live.
Oh wow.
That's where I got it. I would take your information
That is
and
what's
I would spin it, you know how, just the way I speak. I just
Well,
same information and change anything you said. I just delivered it my way, you know.
I'm still working in the backgrounds. I don't be on YouTube like that no more, but I'm still in the background. So if you ever want me to come on your, on your platform, listen, anytime.
Oh, I appreciate
Anytime.
that. Thank you.
I'm
Because I know you got connects. I don't, so that's good to know. That is definitely good to know. And I just hate, I don't know what happened, but man, I really wish, and it doesn't have to be about R. Kelly. It's some news out there, man, that needs to be talked about, that's not being talked about, and if this was the right, like I said, the black news, you know how you heard that Black Wall Street shit when the black people were handling that shit, and
right.
I miss that. We are so divided, and for what, I just don't know. I really don't.
I think that's just a part of our history. That started long before this trial.
And it's sad. That's what I'm saying. It's like we don't realize.
Yeah, this is just ongoing. I mean, look at it, not that, but I'm looking at everything that's going on with other celebrities when it comes to Diddy and stuff. We're not taking down nobody else. When they start talking, they gonna talk on the man that look just like them.
Exactly.
So, they're not chopping off the head on where this stuff is starting at. They bringing down more of our people, and I just don't understand why we so quick to throw ourselves under the bus.
Exactly.
Before we say, hold on, because they're not doing that.
They couldn't do that with me, with R. Kelly. The shit just didn't make sense. It just didn't add up.
Right.
And for the people that just jumped on that wagon, I would never understand it. Because what part that you felt that was so real? I mean, that was so convincing. Because now so much has come out. How can you still hold on tight to that?
I honestly believe that a lot of people took this because of how Rob carried himself, very humble. He wasn't a celebrity per se. And so a lot of people took this personal. They took personal things that have happened to them and, made this case about them. When they couldn't look past it. Instead, they should have been looking at the fact that it took a lot of under the table stuff to bring this man down. What makes you think that it can't happen to one of your family members, your son, your father, your brother?
Yep. That was the message. That's what we were trying to put out there.
R. Kelly did. This is so much bigger than that.
And you see it's happening because now they are coming for the Diddy's and the Chris Browns. They had to test the waters with R. Kelly. They passed.
Yeah, they are tearing down our legacy as we speak, and we watching it happen. Because I don't care. You don't see all these, excuse me, white people out here tearing down here Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey
You
Epstein.
don't see it with the Mexicans. None of
Nothing.
that. They don't. Those people stick together.
My thing is, if I can't help you, I'm not gonna hurt you.
Oh, say that again, girl. Girl, I wish you.
So
I
I'm
would
gonna
just
keep my mouth closed. I can't help you. I'm gonna step away. And
Come
that's
on
another
now.
reason why I've been so quiet, because there's not nothing really that can help this situation. So I speak when I need to speak.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm gonna be quiet because you don't want to hurt the situation either. And that's
absolutely.
But see, everybody got an opinion. Everybody got an opinion that's based off one-sided information that they get.
Yeah. Yeah,
We the
that's
only
what
ones
hurt.
that take our culture, the only ones that take social media as seriously as we do. They tell you every day, don't do the stuff that you do on social media because you're gonna go to jail for it. And what they do, continue to do the stuff on social media that they go to jail for.
Wow.
So
Yeah. I don't understand that, but I don't. I'm about the news. My whole stance for even being on here was totally about R. Kelly, because I followed him his entire career, and to see it, what happened to him and how his life basically changed overnight for absolutely nothing. I know I hear people say, oh, well, he did something. I don't give a damn. Those are his girlfriends. And that's my opinion. Those were his women. Now, how they played their game in their bedroom or whatever the hell they did in the situation, that is not my damn business. That's their shit. They know how that shit really went down.
Exactly. And what's
I'm sorry, go ahead, Dottie.
Sorry, I was just saying what's crazy is that they took something that people do every day in their lives behind closed doors and they made it criminal for him.
They sure did. And these people that hate the man because of the person, him being himself. He was a single man. He can date as many women he want. And you people got upset about that. That's none of your business. Those women did not have a problem, in my opinion, with Robert until the party was over. And then now everything was ugly.
That's facts. That's not your opinion. That's facts, because that's exactly what happened.
And they just took I was watching I was telling Tamaria, I was watching I don't even know if she's a subscriber, but someone that be's on the channel. She'd been sending me a video, kept telling me to watch this video, right? And it's with R. Kelly. It's an interview that he had. And it was a very old interview back in 1998, right? So every time I would click on it, but once I would hear he talked about the Stevie Wonder and how he spared the rap, I say, but I never really watched the video. So for some reason yesterday, here she goes again. She sent me the video again. I said, you know what? I'm just going to watch it. Girl, that video, it touched my heart. And I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
R. Kelly explained everything I've ever said about this man on my channel. He confirmed it in that video once again. But what touched me is this part when the man asked him, because, during this time, he's on top of the world, right? So the interviewer asked him, he said, if they pulled the rug from up under you and you had nothing, what do you have to say about that, or something like that, right? Now, mind you, this was in 1998. R. Kelly said, I can't even answer that because I work so hard for what I do, right? And I'd be damned, didn't they pull that rug from up under him, Dottie? On some BS. It actually happened. The man couldn't even phantom it. Because he knows as long as I'm doing what I'm doing, handling my business, making my music, there's no way that can happen. But then it happened. That broke my heart, man. I was like, oh my God, R. Kelly, it happened.
Which interview?
This was an interview back in 1998. The actual interview was about.
Do you have it to play?
Huh?
Do you have it to play, Lady D?
It's about 45 minutes. You guys want to hear that? It's about 45 minutes long. But he even covered, you know how, what's that girl name? Sparkle ass, right? You know how Sparkle tried to make it seem like he, can I have a link? Oh, wait a minute. How he made her sleep on this couch, right? Or whatever, tried to make it seem sinister. But even in this video, he explained why, because he had her on that couch because he wanted to see how hungry she was for the business, because she handled it. And he said he let her sleep on that couch until what he wanted to do as far as her album came to him. And when it came to him, it was born. That album was born. So this particular, you know what? I'll put it on. I'll put it on. But he explained that, and I say, wow, this is old as hell. Oh, I'm sorry, Dottie, I lost you. I'll put the link back in here. Daddy Lolo, you guys want to come back up.
Okay.
Let me see. What did I do with it?
Oh yeah, he said that.
I was like, wow, this woman has been trying to get me to watch this video for I don't know how long. And every time I hear the Stevie Wonder part, I just stop. I say, oh, I saw, but I never watched the whole damn thing. And I'm so happy I did. Let me see. Thanks for asking me to do that, Tamaria, because there may be some people on here that probably don't even know about that damn. So let me go in here. It touched my heart, girl, because it happened. Hey, Daddy Lolo, they actually did. It actually happened where they did pull the rug up under it. The man couldn't even phantom it. He couldn't even phantom it. Hey, both thoughts, how are you? Let me find this. I hope I can find it in here. Is this it? Let me mute for a second. I'm sure you, a lot of you have seen it because, like I said, it was old. I never saw the whole thing. I don't know why I thought I did, but it was so relevant today. It just blew my mind. It broke my heart when I heard that man said he couldn't even phantom it because he works his ass off, and these little scallies took.
My whole thing is, I want everybody to really hear. They heard that, and she said it in court again, that it was no child pornography.
No, it sure
okay?
was.
There's no child pornography on those tapes.
Go ahead and conversate. I'm going to find this clip, and I want to play it for you guys.
They need to know that. Why they started calling this man those words. I don't even want to say it. The word that they calling him. I don't even want to say it anymore because she verified it for me today. For real. I mean, it was already, I knew it wasn't. And I knew that tape was a bogus tape from the beginning. But she verified that there was no child pornography on those tapes. Why people keep saying that. But go ahead. Anybody else want to speak?
I mean, well, we all know. And how you doing, everybody? Hey, Lady D. What's going on, Chat Daddy Lolo? You know what I'm saying? How you doing, man?
Hi.
Right now, of course, you know, we've been through all of this, and it's just actually coming to the forefront. The truth. We knew that there were no children in those tapes. And I would be remiss to say that even if you could say that Rashana Landfair was on the tape, it wasn't her as a child.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Because remember, they were together for 12 years, and the government said that they took some tapes and put it together. So who's to say that they didn't do that with that tape? Take a tape from another tape that she did grown, because she still looked young.
Right, because the difference between the look of a 16-year-old or a 14-year-old versus an 18-year-old is pigtails and balls versus a perm. That's the difference. The facial features don't change much. None of that. So, when you sit here and you get talking about, oh, well, she looks this way, that's just a look.
Oh,
Because you got to think,
oh,
you had a think it that looked like a kid because she was in her 30s. We have to, when you take this R. Kelly, of using your common sense, and you take it all the way back to real common sense, who do you know that goes and buys a VHS recorder and goes all the way in and adjusts the time and everything else to make sure that it gets the right dates and times? No one. So every time it cuts on, guess what it goes to? The default date of where you bought it, which is the reason why it said it was in the 90s. That's the only reason why. It wasn't because he did it in the 90s. It's because that was the default date and time. Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
so those are the reasons. The people.
And it wasn't
Go ahead.
provoked. It wasn't the original tape either provoked. That was said too. The officer from the whatever trial, the 2008 trial, he said he put his signature on it and it was a CD. And it wasn't on VH.
But what give me, why would they believe anything given to them from Avenatti?
Avenatti special, and that grinds my gears, and of course, I do my content. So one of my biggest things is, how can you sit here and tell me, a conscious thinking human being, that you got a tape from the 90s that's more superior than the tape in the 90s? It makes no sense. And the only reason something like that will happen, doctor the tape. That's it. You can't.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So prime example. I'm a video gamer. Okay, they just came out with Resident Evil.
Playing in the background. Can you mute your mic, please? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And actually, let me see. I think that might. I'm gonna go ahead for you real quick. I think it's a lady vacuum, and it's a lady vacuum. So I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and then I'm gonna mute it. Basically, the way that this thing works with those tapes and everything, there is no way that you can tell me that a tape that you got right now, because like I said, I just started playing a video game from the 90s in 2024, Resident Evil. Guess what they did? They enhanced the graphics so it looks realer than it did on the first PlayStation. So they can doctor anything. Yeah. And I'm playing in it. And the only thing I can think of is like, dang, this is real. It's crispier and everything because they can go in and adjust anything they want to. So yeah, they probably play with these tapes. You can literally take a person's face and paste it on stuff and make it work. This is what they do. And I'll yield back to you guys. Go ahead. I'm muted.
No, but you're absolutely right. That's what we've been trying to tell people. But see, those people we know over here. See, it's those that keeping all this nonsense going. They're the one don't want to hear it because it makes too much sense. Because they ran with the narrative for too long. So why change it now? You get what I'm saying? In my opinion, of course. I found that video, guys. So let's finish this conversation and then I'll run this interview. So I know some of you guys probably have seen this, but it's so relevant today. Just listen to Robert. Watch it. Just watch the man. This man is not a monster. He's not a monster. Go ahead, Provoked. I'm sorry.
So basically, and I apologize for, but it's so serious when you get to this. And this oral argument has been pretty telling. They threw this case together. Yeah. They threw it together, based on emotions and feelings. That's why they can sit up here and say, well, yeah, he did go and say that, hey, he obstructed, and that's one of the reasons why he's adding on extra time and all of this. That is emotional bullcrap.
Yeah.
And
you had to be in the courtroom, man, to really know for sure. Seriously. It was so emotional. It's just awful.
It's emotional bullcrap. We have to, once the swelling goes down, and I'll take this example. And we're gonna take it and people can feel how you want to feel. Look at Donald Trump. Look at the fact that they hated this man for over 9 years. And if you come past the hate, a lot of the things he said was gonna happen. So we, like him or not, He said it was going to happen. It was going to happen. You know, you take the messenger away, you can probably listen to the message. And, you know, I connect these people through Michael Avenatti and this RICO statute that they're running around here giving everybody. Because I feel like that R. Kelly has been as a political prisoner. And the reason why they charged him with that RICO is because injustice anywhere is definitely a threat to justice everywhere. And if you can get away with this with an R. Kelly, guess who you can get next? A president. Because you set precedents.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just wanted to ask Laprice Manzi said that she still believes it's his wife. His wife was on the tape that they were trying to get back. It wasn't that's why it wasn't on
Lisa Van Allen, wasn't it? And
right.
what's
It was the wife
LaShonda.
Right. No, it was a wife and Lisa Van Allen.
Oh yeah,
on
okay.
The tape. They were trying to get back. So
but
yes,
did a threesome with them as well. That came out as well.
Absolutely, but that happened, I'm sure, as an adult.
Yeah,
like all of this stuff.
That child shit. That child shit. They had to come with that. That's why they had to bring Aaliyah back into the picture to refresh the. You see, everybody was manipulated, but you got these blacks want to believe this man is such this monster. They were so easily manipulated by the media. That's all it was.
If Lisa Van Allen changed her age, and what's her name? What's the funny looking when it was at the courthouse? The stalked him at the courthouse, Geronda Pace. If you can change her age, and then you got Azriel Clary change her age.
Yeah.
What makes you think that somebody else did?
Yeah, that's why
what
I
makes you think
believed any of that damn testimony.
What's to say that nobody else did? You know, when I look at life, I was working with a guy the other day, and he lied to somebody about his age. It's an easy thing to do. And people can say that.
When I was young, I lied about my age. I mean, it's just something you don't know. Well, I didn't. I wasn't trying to get anyone in trouble, but shit, I lied too. Saw something.
I mean, the thing
did. I sure did.
We do this. We do that. We would lie about our age to get an advantage over somebody, and that's pretty much what happened. This was an advantage that was given. It was a honeypot. This is the thing. They've been doing all of this in politics for years, where they'll set you up, and just all this person has to do is prove that they were in the room with you via a picture or a corroborating witness, and then they got their charges. They can say anything happened at that point.
Yeah,
and that's what.
I see you, Trucker, in there. I'm gonna see if I can get you on the panel. I don't know if I can. Let me see. Go ahead. I'm
people
sorry.
don't even understand what the Jeffrey Epstein deal was. Jeffrey Epstein was a person who bribed politicians to get what he get them over there to that island, and they wouldn't know it was cameras in them rooms until they left the room and left the island. And then he sent them a poll and said, if you don't do what you say I'm gonna do, then I'm gonna expose this and mess up your marriage, mess up your career. That's what they do. It's called a honeypot. And anybody who don't know what that is, they need to go and do their own research and find out, because that's exactly some situation that R. Kelly has gotten caught up in. And when he got wise to it, he started videotaping it. And when he started videotaping, he started lying some more.
Yeah.
So now we're going to ages since he videotaped it. But why would any human being, I'm talking about a surface level, a child would know, if I'm doing something illegal, I'm not going to take it my doggone self.
Exactly. But Robert is not the man. What am I trying to say? His life was never a secret. Let me play this video, guys, and then we'll pick up on this conversation. But I want people, because this is the same man. Now, this was back in, like I said, 1998. But listen, because a lot of this shit is relevant today. Because I have nothing else to say. Let me put it on. I'm mute myself because I talk too damn much, and I don't want to talk through this video. So this interview. So check this out, guys, and listen. Just listen to Robert, man. Listen to this man.
I'd love to know your very first childhood memory musically. What's your very first musical childhood memory?
Musical what?
Childhood memory.
Oh, musical childhood memory. I can remember slowing up the record to get. Oh, I bet you if someone approached you yesterday to tell you that you would be jamming, you would not believe it because you never thought that you would be jamming. That's by Stevie Wonder. I remember slowing that up just to get that because I couldn't understand what he was saying. And I was so interested to hear what he was saying so I could learn it.
I know you guys familiar with this part, but once this passed, just really listen to what he's talking about.
And that was like one of the hardest things I heard Stevie Wonder do. So I wanted to get that. So I remember that I was about, I guess, 12, 13.
That's very funny you said that. I did the same thing.
Yeah. Did you get it?
I did exactly. I didn't get every single word, but I did exactly the same. Yeah, it was brilliant. Genius.
Okay, now I see why this mini Wi-Fi camera has been trending online lately. This thing is awesome. This brand new subscription-free mini Wi-Fi camera provides more security features than traditional doorbell systems without ever having to pay for expensive installation or monthly fee.
I forgot about this shit. I canceled my premium thing, so this shit gonna pop in every now and again. Sorry, guys.
Just an aside, to be honest. I did that. I mean, I want to know what the first instrument you ever picked up was, and the first instrument you ever had an affinity with.
The guitar. My mom bought me a guitar, my brother a bass guitar, and my other brother a drum set. And mine was like the lead guitar. That was the first instrument.
And what's the first thing you ever composed on that guitar?
A song that just a musical thing. Doom, 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 doom. That's all I knew.
You didn't put lyrics to that?
No, I couldn't put lyrics. I wasn't in a writing situation then. I didn't know how to write a song, but musically.
You said your mum bought you the guitar. Did you come from a musical family?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my mom sang. My sister sang, and of course, like my brother played bass, and my other brother played drums.
It seemed as if, you know, black kids, working class backgrounds, music was such an important part of life, especially in the like 70s and 80s. It was just such a, you know, everybody I've spoken to seems to say if it was either church, it was either music always playing in the house, or somebody in my family was musical. Did you find that amongst your peers at that time?
Yeah, I found the same thing around the 70s, especially around 74. You know, it was all love. You know, it was like music was more effective. You know, if you hear a love song come out, or by the Isleys or anyone like that, I mean, or Marvin Gaye, it would make you want to make love, or make you want to love, or come closer to your family or your woman or your wife. You know, it was definitely more effective back then.
Because obviously now with rap music being so dominant, especially through the 80s, that whole, you don't get that sense that is going on as much. You know, there's kind of more of an angst and a kind of anger out there. So did that, I mean, doing music for someone like myself was seen as, no, you don't want to do music, that's like dancing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So having that background, your family behind you, and I know about your school, and I know about a certain lady that I'd like you to tell us about, who inspired you and encouraged you to do your music. Can you tell us a bit about her?
Well, that's Lena McGlynn, like my second mother, and she's a pastor and everything. My music teacher in high school. In high school, my freshman year, I was on Kenwood's basketball team, which is the name of my high school. And but I happened to have a music class. At that point in time, I think I was about 16, 17. I was not interested in music. I was really trying to be the next Michael Jordan, of course. And she told me that I would sing, you know, I would be the next Stevie Wonder or superstar, or Michael Jackson or something like that. And I laughed at her like she was crazy. You know, I couldn't see it. And everything I am today, she could see it. My mother could see it. And she would tell me that I was going to be where I'm at today and even further. So, and it just happened. She put me in a talent show, and I did the talent show, and the girls were screaming and everything. And I was like, man, I don't get this kind of love on the court, you know. And of course, I'm going to choose that over basketball, and I did, and I've been doing it ever since.
So what would you say that was your big break, or was there a stage a little further down the line that was the significant breakthrough music?
I would say my big break is that point in time I learned that Stevie Wonder riff. That was one of the steps because I felt like, man, if I learned that, I can learn anything because that guy was going pretty fast. But as far as crowd-wise and what nailed it, I would say my first talent show pretty much is what bit me in a way. Like Peter Parker got bit by the spider and became Spider-Man. You know, that was the bite for me. You know, when the women and everybody was showing me so much love at the talent show, and I won, and I was like, wow, it was overwhelming.
Can you relive that fear and energy that you had the first time you went on stage and had to actually compete to try and win, you know, like a talent competition? Because that must be just for a young guy, a really awesome experience.
Well, I had my eyes closed through the whole thing, so I just heard everything. The idea is she put me in these black glasses and had a friend of mine walk me out on the stage like I was Stevie Wonder, and she had me sing "Ribbon in the Sky." And as soon as I started singing, the crowd started cheering and screaming, and all I can remember is ending it. And when I ended it, people were standing up, they told me, because I kept my eyes closed until he walked me back off the stage. The best way to act blind is to close your eyes. So that's what I did.
Did you do that when you got signed to Jive? What happened there? Was that a song or some demos that you did, or?
Yeah, management. Actually, I had got into some situation with management that I was with before I even got signed with Jive, and I had a manager skip out of town with some money that we had won, you know, from a talent show.
Can you believe that? This shit, they have been taking advantage of that man all this damn time, man. Now, this is some shit before he even blew up, you know? This is awful.
Some dirty dollars.
Yeah, that was Mr. Demetrius Smith guy.
And the day I broke up with him was actually the day I was bumming a transfer trying to get a bus to get home. And I was walking down 79th, and I walked past the Regal Theater, and it said a gospel play was going on. And I went in there, and I asked the guy, I said, yo, man, any more auditions going on? He said, no, we just closed it up, man. I said, man, give me a chance, man. Let me do something. I'm on my last dime here, you know. And they were like, well, that's it, man. So I started singing anyway. And I sang a song, Amazing Grace, and they introduced me to Barry Hankerson. I sang to Barry Hankerson, and
it's where Hankerson ass come in at, asshole.
And he offered to put me in the play. And I said, you know, that's great. That's great. And so as time went on, come to find out, he wanted me to, I told him that I could write. I didn't want to do the play. I want to write and do my own album. So once I showed him a couple of songs on the piano and a couple of demos, he's like, my God, you write, you can write, you know, let's take you to Jive Records. And that's what we did.
Do you want to sip your coffee?
I'm good.
You cool? Okay. Takes me to Born into the 90s, a phenomenal debut album. And something that didn't really tell us whether you were going to be a big balladeer or a club guy, because you know you really came off big with She Got That Vibe. Mm-hmm. So tell me, in hindsight now, looking back on that album, where did you see your strengths and weaknesses? Did you use that album as a kind of tester for you know, for what was to come?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did with the Born into the 90s album. Once I found out I had an album deal and we were going to the studio to do an album, I was like searching. I was like, man, I got all of these melodies and songs in me. I don't know what to do first. And I just listened to the radio and just calmed down, listened to the radio and kind of, you know, like the stocks, you know, you see what's hot and what's not. And I saw the up tempos were in at that point in time. And so I went in and did She's Got That Vibe, which was the last song on the album, and did a couple of ballads just in case. You know, I was pretty much searching at that point in time.
That's quite unusual that you're actually admitting that you know, that you were aware that maybe I'm going to go that way, maybe I'm going to go. Because some people just go, well, I wrote that from the heart, and that's my first album. That's what I'm about. End of story.
Man, I didn't have a clue. I was like, I just wanted it to work. My hunger was there more than anything, and me being hungry, I'm always like that. I'm nervous. What will the people like? What are they feeling? I try to figure out what is the world feeling right now with my first 2 albums. You know, that's how I was.
Well, let's talk about the second album because, you know, in this day and age, and history always says the second album is the most difficult to grow from a first into a second album, develop as an artist. Are you pleased with the outcome of the second album, exactly the direction you took? I mean, has it all gone exactly how R. Kelly wanted it to go?
Yeah, the 12 play album.
12 play, go on,
Really, how that whole 12 play album came about is I was on tour with Gerald Levert, and we were opening up for him. You know, we were the opening act, still trying to prove myself. So
these are the 9
here.
The lights and the smoke and the fog and just the big production, you know, and I was like, wow, I can't wait to get to that point. And I figured the only thing that was going to get me to that point, because I had like a flashlight and a mic, you know, when I was opening up. But Gerald, he won't give me much, but, you know, but I said to myself, I have to do something out there on that stage that'll make people forget about the lights and the whole 9. You know, I got to throw down, you know, to get to the next level. I need to know how to perform without all of that.
Come on,
and that's when I came up with 12 play. It was actually a song in my show.
Wasn't 12 play one of his biggest sellers? Put it in the chat.
We'll talk.
Nothing to do with anything that was on my album, but I said, man, I'm gonna put this 12 play on my show. I'm gonna write that song so those women can scream. Because I know if I count down from 12 to 1 or from 1 to 12, what I'm gonna do to them, I know they're gonna go crazy, you know, because that's the way I feel, you know. So that's what I did, and it worked. It worked tremendously for us, man. I mean, you know, I finally hit something that I knew was an automatic gimmick in my show, and the women was on their feet, everybody was barking and everything. So I said, man, I'm gonna put this on my album, my next album, my second album. And then it ended up being the title of the album.
Well, from a UK perspective, you know, your shows have always been, even the first tour was so well received. You know, you were huge on the underground scene, particularly first in the UK. I'm sure you love the support you received over there.
Oh yeah, a lot of love. It was amazing. I can't explain the feeling over there, man. I mean, everybody was like, I felt like, man, what is this? Is Michael Jackson standing behind me? And when I turn around, he ain't there, you know? That's how I felt, because they were screaming. Some nights I didn't even know what they were screaming at, you know, but they was telling me, man, they just love you, man. And that just really made me feel good, and inspired me to go in and even come up with another album.
Okay, before we talk about that other tour, the second tour you did over there, let's talk about the tracks on 12 play, because the first time I interviewed you, we talked about Your Body's Calling and Bump and Grind being almost like signature tunes for the 90s, like Marvin's Let's Get It On was in the 70s. And do you feel, I mean, at that point, after you were the She's Got That Vibe man almost, then you came with, you know, the kind of more sexy angle, and you became a sex symbol. How did you cope with that whole instant, boom, your career escalated, and you were a sex symbol as well?
Well, I started saying things like, I can hear someone over there calling me. Oh, the crowd would just go crazy. Then I walk down there. I can hear someone over there calling me. Oh, and they go crazy. This before Body Calling was born. You know, and little gimmicks like that, and ooh, na, 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 na. Crowd go, your body, na, na. And it was just amazing little gimmicks that I was doing on my show. I never thought that I would take it into the studio and say, okay, I'm gonna make a whole song out of Your Body's Calling Me. But that's how these songs came about. Wow. And as the more I started doing that, the more I started deciding, well, I'm just going to start saying what I feel.
Come on.
I would always say on my stage, do you mind if I say what I feel right now? They would love it. And then I say what I feel. See, I'm feeling kind of horny right now. And they would snap, you know. But that's what I would feel. And I'd say what I feel. People appreciate me keeping it real with them.
Real, baby.
And
That's right.
everybody wants to know what you really feel.
Stay on.
Especially when you're known. They want to know what you're really thinking. So I was giving them what was on my mind
You
and
was
on my
keeping it
heart
real.
at that particular time.
You reckon you found your niche there, really, at that point? I mean, everybody, a lot of R&B artists were trying to do that kind of thing, but you kind of did it just that bit better.
Mm. Well, I think it's because after I started doing, a lot of people would follow, if you don't mind. I mean, a lot of people would follow in a humble way. I say that, but it's a difference when you mean it. You do it. When I came up with it, it came out of me from my belly, and I did it because that's what I felt, and that's what was on my mind. A lot of other people, when they did it, they were inspired to do it. And it's a difference, it's a difference in who created the light bulb and then who turned it on. It's a big difference.
People were doing it because they knew it worked.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at Wembley Arena when you did that call and response thing, and you had like 10,000 people instantly giving you that vibe back. So that's a clue into also how you write some of your songs, because we're going to talk about this later about your songwriting and how you said you fed from the crowd and you went back to a studio and then you wrote a song.
Have a cat? Stop scooping cat litter.
Experience of that moment there. Is that one of the key ways that you actually write your material?
Someone have their mic on, please. With something is playing in the background, please mute your mic. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not for the most part, but I would say 30% of it, is when I'm out there, because I'm always throwing out. I'm very spontaneous on stage, and every night is something new. Every night I may say something that and it's a smash, and if it's a smash, I'm gonna keep it throughout the tour. I'm saying, man, everybody goes crazy when I go, ooh, na, 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 what? Your body, na, 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 na. That was just something I tried on the show, and it was such a great response that I decided to do it in a song.
Where did you feel you were going to go from there? At that point, you came off the tour, you just had success with the album. Were you just excited about the future? Where did you think it was next? Or were you kind of nervous about, hang on, Bump and Grind was the biggest R&B record for 30 years on the R&B chart, and people are saying this is great. But where do I go from here?
Yeah, always nervous, man. I'm a nervous wreck, but it's an exciting type of nervousness. I'm excited to do it again, but I'm nervous because I'm like, man, can I do it again? I believe, but it's hard to sit in one room in Chicago in a studio and read the minds of millions, because that's what you're doing. When you write any song, you're writing it to put it out, but hopefully people will go and buy it. Hopefully people will love it. Hopefully people will come to the concerts because of what you thought in that little bitty room. And I'm trying to read the minds of millions, because I want millions to pack in and millions to go buy the album and millions to love my music. So, it's a pressure, man. It's a pressure, but I welcome it because, I love pressure and I love my music. And I know if you love something you do, it's going to show.
We're talking about reaching millions of people and reaching millions of people also through the voices of other singers, which is something that you've proven that you can do as well. I mean, the mark of a truly great songwriter and musician is when they can work with somebody else or for somebody else. At that point, you became known as R. Kelly, the great songwriter as well, because you work with everybody that matters in R&B. Was that a way of you alleviating that whole pressure of just, it's me, I'm going to write a song for this person, that person, or did they just ask you and say, man, we need one of your songs for our album? Was it that whole era, that time there for you? Was that so exciting?
Yeah, it was very exciting because I love writing for other people. I love taking my music and transforming into that person that I'm working for. For instance, Toni Braxton, I would give, I was just telling somebody this today, I wouldn't give Toni Braxton a You Are Not Alone. And that's the exciting thing about my music. That's the exciting thing about, that's the most thing I love about my music, because when I get to write for people, I get to become them. And they don't understand how I do it, but I understand that I totally submit to who they are, and I respect them so much, and then I'll just give them what I feel they would sing. You Are Not Alone. Tony Braxton could have never sung that song. It was just so perfect for Michael, I feel. And the same thing with anything else I've done for anyone. I try just try to pull out of them what I feel they should do.
But also, one of our favorite songs on the show last year was Get Out, Changing Faces. Such a, how can I put it, every woman who's ever been through anything like that totally understands that, and that the ability to, a woman would have had to have written that song, surely. You know, that's what's most impressive. How did you set about writing Get Out?
Well, I've sent a woman through that situation. I've sent a woman through that situation. I mean, some things you don't have. It doesn't have to be done to you, but it's some things that you can do to others that can inspire you also. And that particular thing I happen to do to a woman. I've sent enough women through enough problems in my past that I know what they're talking about, because they always screaming in my ear. They need to spend time, more time. They think I'm cheating around, which sometimes I was. I mean, sometimes, but I ain't gonna lie, that happened. And I'm human. That happened. I made bad mistakes.
Tell them, Robert.
So, and through my music, it's my way of saying I'm sorry. It's my way of saying I'm trying to be better. It's my way of saying forgive me.
Come on.
It's my way of saying let's make love and just make up.
But the great thing about it is, if you're real out there and people are being honest, they can really relate to it. You've got a track on your new album, which I'm going to throw to, called One Man. I love that track because any guy who's been out with any girl who's been out with another guy can absolutely appreciate what you're saying in this track. Can you just talk us through this tune?
Well, One Man was something on this album that I put on there. It came to me. I said that I was going to let this album come to me, this particular album. I wasn't going to go searching for anything. I was going to let it come to me. And this One Man came to me. It was like my second song. Out of the 28 or 29 songs that's on this particular album, this was like the second song. And I wrote it from a situation that I had been through, of course, and situations that a lot of brothers had been through. I don't even remember those. What's weird is I don't even remember how I came up with One Man, because the title is so far to the left, and how you would come up. When you say one man, people would not know what you mean. So I usually end up saying, well, one man can make one woman hate all men. Now, that's not a negative statement. It's just a true statement, and any woman that hears it be like, you ain't lying. You sure right about that. Y'all can make us just hate all of y'all. And I was basically saying, but don't give up on us. You know what I'm saying? Don't let what happened in your past mess up our future, because I've gotten with girls and I'll take them out to the show or something. They won't even let me open the door for them. I'm like, man, what are you so mad at? I'm a gentleman. I'd like to open the door for you. No, that's okay. What are you mad at? Who's hurt you? Well, I was dealing with this other guy. Well, that's not me. That's him.
Oh, Lord.
And I've been in enough situations like that where it's pretty much easy for me to come up with something like One Man.
Let's say One Man. It's for Radio 1. That's a great song. I love that song. I want to talk a bit more about the songwriting process again, because that was One Man from R. Kelly, from his hot new album, R. It's going to be R or rated R. I'm not sure which one's it going to be.
R-rated.
R-rated, rated R. But it's all real. Anyway, I'm with R. Kelly. We're talking about his new double album, which is incredible, I have to say. And just talking about some of the tracks and his ability to write songs and how he writes songs. You are known.
Tamaria, isn't that the same man that was in the courtroom and this shit was in 1998? You there?
Known as a workaholic.
What you mean?
Just a total music man.
I missed that part.
How sweet, how humble. I mean, look.
Very humble. Yeah, very humble man.
It was known throughout the 80s as somebody who just always wanted to make music.
Mhm.
Are you obsessed with making music? Is it an obsession? Is it just with you? Is it?
Yeah. Well, I would say I used to be obsessed with writing and making music. Now, man, it's who I am now. It's like,
Call your doorbell camera company and cancel the subscription.
Thank God it don't stay long.
Yeah, they try to make him seem like he was a monster for being in the studio and making them
man,
wait like he was all about them. It wasn't about y'all.
That's why I know people probably saying, why
Right,
she
yeah.
showing this old ass video? But man, this I love it. Here it goes.
it just comes to me. I don't even mess with it anymore. I used to sit down to the piano and try to figure it out and how to try to figure out what my next song is and try to write it. But man, it's so nature now, man. It's just when I wake up, or sometimes I wake up out of my sleep and there's a song, I get awakened by a song. You know, it messes with me sometimes. It just haunts me, you know, sometimes. And I welcome it with open arms. I love it. But it's just like you can get hit in a certain spot on your body so much it becomes numb. So that's how writing is for me, man. It's just, I feel like it just as I breathe.
Has it got anything to do with how tough your background was? You know, I've read interviews saying that you did enjoy, you know, growing up in a sense. There are parts of growing up that you didn't enjoy, but you were, you know, you had a single parent, you know, you had brothers. It must have been tough. Is that what drives you on? Is that what keeps you mentally totally focused on winning big time?
Yeah, and plus I've always been faced with out of this world decisions and big situations and crazy situations. I've been through a lot, you know, of crazy stuff in my past. Of course, I love sitting on the porch though with my mom and my brothers and sisters and listening to Al Green or Donny Hathaway or Stevie Wonder or something like that, just block parties and things like that. But other than that, I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. And I believe the depth of your struggle determines the height of your success. What you've been through creates a passion for what you're preparing yourself for. And in this particular situation, music was something that I was doing, and music affects the world. It's when you hear jazz, you feel jazzy. You hear blues, you feel bluesy. You know, you feel church, you want to cry. You know, you hear it. But I do feel that me going through all of the things that I've been through in my life has allowed, all the way up to now, has allowed me to be able to write like I do. That's why I feel like my songs are like in 3D. You know, it's like the words are like right at you. You know, and I try not to cut corners.
So like Michael Jordan, and I have to say like Michael Jordan in the way that he's quite a perfectionist and he doesn't like losing.
Right.
And things like that. Do you get, I mean, you're working with Sparkle now, which I'd like you to talk to me about, but also do you get slightly frustrated if somebody doesn't have the same, you know, get up and go that you have? I mean, how do you find producing and writing for somebody like Sparkle, for example? Do you have to tell her, you got to do this, you got to do that?
Well, yeah, first of all, I get very frustrated, you know, and that's maybe bad, maybe good. I feel it's good on my part. You know, because that's how Miss McGlynn was. That's how she was with me. She would get frustrated, hit me in my stomach, do whatever she had to do to get me to sing the right way. But I get very frustrated with people that I try to work with, and because I know I'm giving them 200 or 300%. I'm giving them my all. The same thing I would give for me, I give for those who are writing, or sometimes even more. You know, because I'm on the outside looking in, and that's a plus for me. With Sparkle, her particular situation, it was the same way. I gave her a choice, no choice, you know, and told her she had to sleep on the couch, and she had to show me, you know, that this is what she wanted. And her being a woman, if she did that, I never told her, but if she did that, that would really be a plus for her, because she's a woman. You know, you don't get find too many women that's willing to come just sleep on the couch to make it, to get into this business. It's better than sleeping on a couch than sleeping in a bed, you know, because that happens also in this business. But that wasn't her case. She just had to sleep on
You
the
better
couch
preach.
and wait till a song come to me for her. And when it come, you're gonna get up off the couch and go in there to the mic and sing it, you know. And that's pretty much how her whole album came to be.
This is an aside. Many top R&B artists from the States sometimes tend to ignore Europe a little bit because it's a tough market.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not as fruitful as, say, America. You have to work ever so hard for less reward. Do you do it because you just want your music to be felt everywhere, or do you do it, I don't know, do you do it because you're forced to by the record company?
Yeah, it definitely depends on what you're in this for, you know. And like I said earlier, I'm in this for the love. I love what I do, and it just amazes me that 12 years ago I was in a basement of my girlfriend's grandma's house rehearsing and writing songs. And those very same songs here 12 years later, someone in Europe is singing. That's amazing to me, man. It's just touching to me, man. So when I go over there, you know, it just touches me, man. So that's why it's important to me to go over there and sing and just hear people sing my music and don't know English and they just sing my music.
And sing new tracks off your new album, Rated R, which is what we're here and we're talking about. We spoke about some collaborations earlier. There's one that stood out straight away as a meeting of two of the huge performers out there at the moment, and one that's not particularly from your genre, Celine Dion.
Mm-hmm.
Is this about a matter of two great singers collaborating, or is this something a little bit more cynical, or is this just something more organic?
It's something more me being A&R a little bit, but this is a very special song. You know, it's a very special song. It's called Angel that I wrote, and as I was singing it and writing it, and I got done with it, it was missing something, and I realized that it needed I wanted a female voice with it, you know, and I thought about Celine, and I reached out, and I was very shocked, to be honest, that we got a quick response, and that she would do it and everything, and we went to Canada and laid the vocals, and I was amazed, and it came out amazing.
A chance of a future single?
How to open your car door while submerged underwater.
Definitely. Oh, definitely.
And a worldwide smash, no doubt. Could be one of your biggest yet.
Yeah, Faithfully. That's what everybody is saying at the company. They loving the song.
But the amazing thing about this album is that you can go from a duet with Celine Dion to a cut with Keith Murray, for example.
Yeah.
Who's total homeboy, you know, and a track called Home Alone.
Yeah. Well, when you get rid of the creativity and the collaboration, the thought of who's who, we're all human. And, you know, we're all on this earth together, and we all breathe the same air. So, you know, but everybody have their own style. And that's what I'm trying to get people to appreciate when they hear this album. Don't just think of, well, now he got his that and other, and then now he's with her and he's with him, you know, but just think of it that way. We are all human. So the collaboration, that's what it's about, you know.
Well, let's say a bit of that collaboration with Keith Murray. This is Home Alone.
Yeah.
Let's talk about at least one more track off the album, I think, before we leave the album. You liked Etc. as well? You want to talk about Etc.?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. It's Radio 1, The Rhythm Nation, Sunday evening with R. Kelly, going through Rated R, his new double album. Oh, sorry, it's just R.
Just R.
Sorry, okay. Sorry. I just got so much in my head. Sorry. We're on The Rhythm Nation with me, Trevor Nelson, and R. Kelly, playing tracks from his double album, R. And it's a hot one. That was Keith Murray, Home Alone with R. Kelly. And we spoke about collaboration with Celine Dion. And let's talk about another track on your album, Etc.
That's a very interesting track because when I was writing it, I didn't have a hook for it. I wanted to talk about so many things I wanted to do with my girl that I couldn't fit it all into
This man did
the
all kind of
chorus. So I ended up saying, and you know, et cetera, like you do in a conversation. And then out of nowhere, I started thinking about how you make love, and then you go to the IHOP, and that's why I put that in the bridge of the song. But the whole base of the song is, I want to do this, I want to do that, and et cetera, and et cetera, and et cetera. You know, so that's how that came about.
Wow.
Cool.
Oh,
Really hope this album does fantastically well for you. I'm
Thanks,
sure
man.
it is. I think it's a landmark album again. It
Thanks.
just never cease to amaze me.
Thanks, man.
But is music totally the future for you? Music related things. You know, you're financially secure now. Really, is there anything outlandish that we don't know about that you may be getting into?
Oh. Other than music, no.
I don't believe that for 1 minute.
Ain't it hard to believe? Isn't that hard to believe?
I think there must be something lurking
I
there.
tried to do the face and everything. It didn't work.
I don't believe that for 1 minute.
Man. There's a lot of things that I'm trying to do. I just can't really get into now. But you know, you guys will find out eventually. But my whole thing right now is, and this is the truth, my whole thing right now is music, and trying to get myself to a situation where the world knows my name and knows my music, and
you succeeded, buddy.
it'll go down in history.
Is it a thing? Is it this whole American thing of be the best you can be? Because you are a perfectionist with your songwriting as well, aren't you? So, have you not completed the course yet for yourself?
No, I haven't. No, it's still a lot more to go. I still have a lot in me to come out.
I can't say any more after that, really, can
Well,
I?
no, but artists that you admire and
Oh, yeah.
and the song you composed for another artist.
The,
which one's your favorite?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we'll just throw that in, okay? We can tell from your music the kind of artists that have inspired you. It's the Isleys and the Marvins and stuff. It's there.
Yeah.
What about contemporary artists that you might admire as well?
I don't. As far as,
well, it doesn't just have to be in the R&B field. It could be any field. I mean, are there any? Is there anybody out there you'd think, well, I'd do that slightly different if I worked with that person? You know, you haven't worked with everybody. You've worked with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm always saying that. I'm always listening. Like I say, I listen to a song or see a movie, and I'm always critiquing even my stuff. I'm always saying, you know, not critiquing, not saying that it's wrong, but I always, you know, I'm a remix freak. I love remixing things. I love changing things around. So when I hear a song out there, or Boys to Men, you know, I would hear something they doing. I love their voices and everything, and I'll say, oh man, I would have put that there. Oh man, or change that for a remix. You know, I would think of things like that. I do that all the time.
You've been involved in a few remixes. You were recently on the Wyclef.
Yeah,
I was surprised that you won that remix actually.
Right.
You know, not being on the
Me too.
original, but on the remix. Was that just a phone call, a favor, or you know? How did
that was just me and him being in the same studio in the same building and just tripping out all night. And I was in the studio hanging out with him, and we had a track up, and just went in there to the mic and did it. And it just, they put it out. You know, that's how that happened.
He's a typical example of what can just happen overnight for people, because you know, again, he's an artist who was keeping it very much real with the first album, and then they kind of broke into a more commercial thing, and have had huge success, and then the power that gives you to do what you want to do.
That's right.
Which is proven with your success as well, and what you want to get into.
Right.
So one question I haven't asked you is your lifestyle. It is obviously quite grand compared to what it was. But I noticed that there are times when I feel that you miss the innocence and the hunger, possibly. You know, when it was tough, when it was hard. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I do all the time. Even now, I miss that. I really do. I miss. But see, that's why
Hey, you have an hour this week, right? Yeah. Great.
My songs are what they are because I don't forget where I come from, and I miss it every night and day where I come from. And that's why there's a certain humbleness about my music and what I do, is because a lot of people sometimes they forget all about that. They don't even want to think about that dish rag and on the floor and that small 1-bedroom apartment. They don't want to think about it, but I actually miss it. You know, I actually get to myself and wish that, man, sometimes I roll down the street and I say, you know what, I'm gonna get me an apartment right over there and get me a studio apartment, because I just want to do that because it feels good. It reminds me of my mother. It reminds me when we were one family. So that's very important to me. That's who I am, really.
This sort of isolation that you get because you are now at a certain level and there are only a few people that are at that level with you, does that make it even that much harder to, how can I put it, to write songs just from the heart, because you're clinging on to that feeling of the past that keeps you know what I'm saying? You say you write songs and you can get that emotion out of you because you've been from the school of hard knocks, you know. Is it hard to keep clinging on, and sometimes does it mess with you, you know, just thinking, because the bad things come up all the time?
Yeah, it does. It hurts sometimes actually when I be around other guys or girls, my friends, that are not as successful as I am, and they don't do what I do. They just regular 9 to 5 or whatever they do. And I look at, or if I go to an old girlfriend's house to see her grandmother because we were close, and it shows me how much I've been groomed and how much I've grown, and it's enough to make you cry, because it just hurts sometimes.
Well, yeah, I think that's a good way to end it. If you lost it tomorrow, what would you do? Apart from maybe kill yourself? No. Yeah, if I pull the rug from beneath your feet tomorrow and you fell flat on your back and you were more or less penniless again, do you think you're strong enough to continue living or continue with what you've been trying to do all your life? Or
well, I couldn't answer that question because that thought is so far out of my mind and out of my reach that I would advise anybody not to even think on anything like that, because I just couldn't. I wouldn't imagine it, because I've worked too hard to get to where I am. I worked too hard, and I still continue to work hard. I work just as hard now as I work to get where I am now.
Wow. Ain't that deep? Isn't that deep, guys?
They wanted to know if everything was taken away from him, would he kill himself? What type of question? Would he kill himself? These people, what type of devilish?
It's just the fact that it happened. The rug has been pulled.
And they tested to see if he was going to kill himself. They wanted him to kill himself.
Wow.
What inspires you to do that? Did somebody else inspire you to be like that? Are there people you look at and you just say, that guy or that woman is showing me the way?
I don't know, man. It's just something in me that's just continuing to drive. You know, when I think of me, I think of the Titanic, not in a sinking way, but when it was sailing.
Go on, Robin.
I want to mention one other person before we end the interview, and that's Michael Jackson, who is a veteran of this industry and a record-selling artist of this industry. And I read that when you worked with him, you were a bit nervous at first, but
like that.
the moment you got into it, you just felt, yeah, this is what it's about. You know, was that possibly in recording and working with somebody else? Was that probably the pinnacle of your career so far?
Yeah, that was a big pause moment for me, you know, when Michael stepped in the studio or even asked me to write a song. I mean, at the point that he did it, I never thought that it would happen, even though Miss McGlynn told me a long time ago that Michael Jackson's gonna ask you to write for him one day. Wow. And I would just laugh at that, because that's so funny to me, because I don't believe in all of that psychic stuff, man. I just don't get in all of that, you know. So, and when she said it, you know, I couldn't believe it. And when he asked me, first thing I thought about was her.
Wow.
And I said, but I'm still not gonna believe. I mean, this has got to pass before I can say, you know, I've done this. And when I did the song, when he came into the studio, yeah, I was overwhelmed, nervous, and all of those things. But I was professionally that way. I wasn't so nervous. I would faint when he came into the room, but once he came into the room, I went in the bathroom and fainted, and kind of fell out. But then after that, I came back like it was no big deal. He was here, and we continued to work. You know, I offered him some Chinese food. You know, the whole nine. You know, things kind of smoothed out after that.
Well, the result was the result you couldn't have dreamed for, but it was the right result. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So you left the mark.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Anyone you want to work with?
Yeah, aside from Michael Jackson, is there anybody aside from who you've worked with already that you'd love to work with?
Yeah, I got a couple of songs that I just wrote like 3 weeks ago for Garth Brooks. Hopefully that'll happen.
What you do?
He returned a call.
Well, you never know.
Anyway, R. Kelly, it's been
faithfully.
It's been fantastic talking to you, meeting you again.
That's it, guys. Man, you get what I was saying, the point I was trying to make with that. That's why
they wanted to.
You're still here. I'm so sorry. We were talking about that clip before you even joined us. But I just felt, because of everything that has happened to this man and that old clip, and especially that part where they asked him if the rug was pulled up from under you and you lost everything, you're penniless, and he couldn't even fathom it, and the shit happened. That's what that was all about.
Wow.
That's what that was all about. And I wanted people to really see how humble this man, he's not arrogant in no sense. Even when he was talking about the women, you know what I'm saying? There was still respect. But they make it as if he's this monster. And I just felt that video need to be reshown, because that's the same person that we saw in the courtroom. That smile, that friendly, that just easily approachable. He's that person. He's really a down-to-earth guy. And so many people, and to me, that video, the man kind of explained everything about him in that video, really. And like he was saying, he had gone through so much prior to that. So that's doing the Aaliyah saga, when all that crap and the tape and all that. That's what he was referencing, how much he had been through up until that point, you know. So that was just me. I just felt that was relevant, especially for those that probably haven't seen it. This is the man that I be on here speaking about. That person these people created, that person does not exist. The man was being him, keeping it real, as he said, keeping it real. A lot of people can't handle realness. He wasn't putting on any airs. He wasn't trying to impress. He was being Robert. And I love that in him. Trucker, Bad Boogie, you still with us? Did I run everybody away?
They was like, that video long.
That was 45 minutes. But
they watched
5 minutes. I felt that was relevant to me. And if you're a true supporter of R. Kelly and all this mess, it can't get.
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. It will make people.
Yes, Lady D, I'm still here.
Okay, Truck, I'm so glad you hung with me. We had talked about that video before you even joined us. So what's going on? What you have to say? Trucker. Trucker, it was, right? Trucker, was it something you wanted to add to we talked about the appeal and What's
This
going
is what I have to say.
on? Okay.
You know, I'm a major in criminal justice, and I'm a retired detective sergeant. And can you hear me?
Yes, I'm very.
Hello.
Yes, I
Yes.
can hear you. Go ahead. So you're an attorney?
Yes. This the it's the whole appeal is it has no bearing. It's just something that they are concocting up through many avenues, and it's bought. It's bought.
Wow.
And no, I'm getting my PhD in criminal justice,
Okay.
and I just been analyzing this whole case from the beginning, and I can honestly say he's being railroaded. He's being used as a pawn to show everybody else, if you step out of line, this is what's going to happen to you.
I truly believe it.
If you don't play the game, this is what's going to happen to you. We're going to ruin your life.
Wow.
And like the gentleman said before about the videotape and everything, I can tell you from the times I've been in court and video evidence has been entered, it's been doctored. 100%.
I believe it.
I mean, that's just point blank from my experience. You know, it's been doctored. It's been shown.
Yeah.
So the federal government, along with some powers to be, they've gotten together and tried to strong arm the law system, the legal system. And then you got some judges that's in on it
Yeah, I believe
to better their career. I mean, I've been following R. Kelly for a long time. His music is soulful. It speaks the truth.
Thank you.
It speaks love,
see that.
not hatred.
I don't
It
get
speaks love.
it.
And a lot of other artists, music companies, and producers, they can't stand that because R. Kelly, when he came on the scene, he took over.
He sure did. Come on
He took
now.
over.
Thank you, Trucker, for saying that.
And
That's what I say all the time on this channel. To hear a
but
man.
see, that point has not been brought out. It's a lot that has not been said.
Wow.
This is just something to take him out of the way so other artists can make money.
Yeah. I said
Yeah,
that. I
because see, like I said, I've sat back and analyzed this whole case from the very beginning. He's had devils in sheep's clothing around him.
Yes, he has. Yeah.
People did not love him that were around him. They were using him
Come on now.
for their own advantage. And you notice throughout this whole case, he's the scapegoat,
Yeah,
as they say.
he is.
Nobody else. They didn't see anybody else in any of his entourage or in any of those so-called videos or anything.
Speak, Trucker.
I mean, I'm here to tell the truth. Let's go and put it on the table, you know.
No, appreciate it.
So they just named him.
Hmm.
And his former attorneys, they should be disbarred
Oh my God, Trucker.
for their irregulatories.
Whoo, you confirming everything
They
I
were just
said.
there to make money off him.
Yeah, that's all it was. To get that check.
That's it.
Suppose they showed up for the hearings,
You
they
know.
got paid. You know what I mean?
So I mean, it's there, but Jennifer Barnjay, she is doing an outstanding job. Outstanding.
I agree.
And that's what we need to see. People believe only what they believe. If the news, that's right. That's right. If they would only do their research, they'll find out this man is innocent.
Yeah.
This man is innocent.
All they have to
It's a couple of people that's keeping him behind bars.
Yeah.
But this time the truth is going to be shown. You really going to have to show some evidence now. Now, see, the government knows they don't have anything, so they got to, go back to the strategy board.
Yeah.
So
Man, it's so
in
sad.
that scene, they don't have anything. But that lady judge, I see that she's already been briefed.
Which
as
one?
you say.
Talking about from the appeal?
She's been showing the wrong things, but hasn't been showing the right things yet. And they keep talking about these videotapes. And like my dear brother said about the videotapes, you really can't tell who it is because they've been doctored so much. They've been recorded over and stretched out so much. And you can alter dates
Yes, you can.
from the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not just from the appeal, from the case too, from the trial.
Yeah, he was speaking on that tape that
From the trial.
from this.
Because even in the trial in New York, that was a setup.
Oh yeah.
That was a setup.
Yeah, but all day. Yeah,
He didn't have a chance in New York.
he sure didn't. Well, he didn't even have counsel in New York. They just showed
So,
up.
but see, this is my take on it also. Everybody, when R. Kelly was on stage, yeah, on the tape, it was said that the tape went through too many hands. He didn't. He just showed up. That's right. But see, the tape went through too many hands. So that's against the law to even let it be submitted as evidence. And the federal government said that it's been recorded, over, doctored. And so how is that legal to be submittable evidence? But they allowed it.
Yeah, that's what Jennifer said. That's exactly what she
So
said.
it's too many too many what ifs and hows in this whole proceeding against them. It's too many.
Yeah.
And I yield back.
We got some sort of delay on your end.
Hello?
Can you hear me? There's some sort of delay. You think you can come out and go out and come back
Yes,
in? Because there's some
exactly.
sort of delay.
I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see this, but it's there.
Okay. Trucker, try to come back in. I don't know what's going on. There was some sort of delay,
Yeah.
and it's like
He was just commenting to what I was saying. So yeah, he do have a delay.
yeah.
He
So
has a
hopefully that'll fix. And I noticed in the chat, some of you guys doesn't seem like you saw that clip with Robert. So I'm very happy that I showed it. And I did warn you guys it was 45 minutes. Okay. But it was interesting. I felt it's just so relevant right now. This man explained himself and how he is, how he makes his music. It wasn't about, how they talk. Everything was about little girls. Remember, that was the whole thing. All his music, which is ludicrous. So to come across, and I thank that person, you know who you are, that's been trying to get me to watch that particular interview. Thank you for not giving up and kept sending that to me, because I thought I saw it, because I've heard this about the Stevie Wonder. And for some odd reason yesterday, I don't know why, I am so happy that I actually sat there and watched the entire interview, because it just confirmed everything I've said about Robert. That man, he's so down there. Did you see how he was talking about, most people, once you make it, you don't even want to think about where you came from. That man said that's not him. Robert said, I'll go get me a studio apartment.
Yeah, he said he missed it. He missed
Misses it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why he stayed around those type of people, because he didn't want to go to the other side.
That's
You know
my
what I'm saying?
point. That's
He
my
didn't
point.
want to do,
That's
you
my
know,
whole point. That's my whole point of
people
that
didn't
video.
understand that in him.
People were saying that confirms that money, that wasn't his thing. It was nice to have it, but he liked the normalcy. That's why he said he would go around the people that's just doing their 9 to 5s, and he felt bad because they were struggling. You know what I'm saying? Still trying to make it. And he said it was enough to make you want to cry. See, that's the man that I be trying to tell you guys. But you know, for some reason, you have so many people they don't want to that side that can't be him. In other words, hey guys, Trucker, are you coming back? Because I have to get ready to. I have to get out of here. How long
You may need to drop the link again.
Huh?
You may need to drop the
okay.
link.
Let me put it back in there because I do have a few more minutes, and then I have to get out of here and go speak with this doctor and get the results. Let's see. Man, thank you guys so much for hanging with me. I had no idea we've been on. But what did you think? Do you agree with me about that? I know it's old, but that he hasn't changed. You see what I'm saying? As far as the inner him, that man has feelings. He said that's with his music when he talk about the women. He knew he hurt them, so he'd do a song to say, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." You know what I mean? I mean, come on. Trucker, if you want to come back, the link is there. Is there anyone else has anything they would like to add? Hello, everyone. I'm from Philadelphia. R. Kelly became a target. Okay, he's back. Awesome, Trucker. Thanks for coming back. When he became a target, when he was the public announcement, this group was a headline of. Yep. I believe that, Dottie. You are so right. Hey, Renata. Hey, Trucker, you want to finish what you were saying? We had a delay.
Oh, okay. Can everybody hear me now?
Yeah. Sound good.
Okay. As I said, I think I was talking about the videotapes and some evidence that shouldn't have been submitted against R. Kelly. But everything can be doctored. Everything. It's been proven in so many ways. I've been in cases, I've been asked to testify in cases when I was in law enforcement, and it was proven. It should have been inadmissible evidence.
Yeah, I said that, Trucker, and I'm not even a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Some things is just common sense. Here's your common sense. Renata, is that you? Can you mute your mic? Because there's some interference on your end.
Okay.
Thank you. And welcome to the panel. That's what we've been saying, man. It just doesn't make. And even Robert said it's your common sense, because that's all it takes.
I'm telling you. And Lady D, no one thought about this right here. Now, what about the parents? What role did they play in this? I mean, they played a significant role, but.
You talking about the young ladies?
Yes, of the young ladies, their parents.
I believe, in my opinion, Trucker, that they were distractions.
They were. Because,
distraction.
I mean, that was the key right there.
Okay. Thank you. And welcome to the panel. Please mute your mic. That's what. Mute your mics, guys. That's what we've been saying. I'm getting feedback. Dottie, I think that's you.
Hello, Lady D.
Dottie, mute.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, but Trucker is talking. Can you mute your mic?
Oh, yes, I will. I will.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go ahead, Trucker. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's okay. But the parents played a big role. None of this would have taken place if they didn't bring their daughters to a grown man's house or apartment or condo. Who does that?
That's right.
And you're going to leave your daughter at a grown man's house with some other adult grown men up in that house. And I call them, predators. Because R. Kelly's not a predator, as they want to predict him to be.
I don't even think the parents were there because the young ladies were all of age. So I don't believe there were
yes.
So that's where everybody said, where were the parents? The parents are at home minding their damn business while their grown daughter was out there being a young adult. She was just a young adult.
That's right. That's
Can
it.
I speak, please, Miss Lady D?
One moment.
Go.
I'll let you speak when Trucker is done, okay?
Okay, go ahead, Trucker, because I could tell you when it all started.
Okay.
It didn't just start. Y'all talk about the young woman.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah, I got one last point, and then I'm gonna yield back to you. They were all of age, but they want to make as it seems that they were underage.
Exactly.
But they weren't. They were all of age.
That for the narrative.
Go ahead.
They had to do that for the narrative. That was the narrative, so they had to stick with that because that's what the government had already put out there.
Yes.
May I speak, please, Mr. Trucker, Miss Lady D?
Go ahead, Dottie.
I befriend you on Facebook. See, that's why I said I knew R. Kelly since he been with Public Announcement.
Oh, you know him personally, or you just saying follow?
No, I've been when he first started in Public Announcement. Powerhouse was promoting him through them.
Okay.
I'm in Philadelphia. So we had the Civic Center, the Philadelphia Convention Center. When Powerhouse was promoting R. Kelly, he was with Public Announcement. I joined your group. That's why my real name is Dot. Yes, I joined your group. When I joined him, I was young. We was young. And what they was doing is with these quote unquote the Covenant House was the type of STDs when you didn't want to tell your parents that or they put you on birth control. Look up the Covenant House. Powerhouse was sending them tickets. My aunts and them was older than me when I seen R. Kelly. Like I was young seeing him. But at my age, when I was young, he was still showing 18 and over. Regardless. This is when he was with Public Announcement. And then Powerhouse was starting to promote the tickets. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're listening.
Powerhouse was promoting the tickets. Covenant House was promoting condoms. Covenant House was the type of house was for the young ladies, the hot women. You didn't want to tell your mom you was having sex because it was in Brickyard. Anybody from Philadelphia know the Covenant House was in Brickyard. They did STD tests. They gave you birth control where you ain't had to tell your parents.
But what that have to do with R. Kelly though?
They was giving out the tickets with Powerhouse through Covenant House.
To come to his concerts?
His concerts when we was young, yes.
So when you say when you were young, how old were you?
I was about when he was in public. I was about 12, 13, and my aunt was 18. My aunt older than me.
So why?
When he was in Public Announcement.
What does our
Powerhouse
do with that though? Those people did that.
No. We not saying no. This is no. I'm not knocking him. This is when they was promoting his tickets, but he also had 18 and over. So I'm not knocking him, Lady D. No, I love R. Kelly. He always so over 18 over. But I'm just telling you, the people are beyond. Powerhouse was Power 99. How is you Power 99 sending tickets to people that serve people that's minors? That's what I'm saying. Power 99 was giving out tickets to minors.
That's my point I was trying to make to you.
Power 99 was giving out tickets to places that serve the minors. That's what I'm trying to tell you, lady.
A lot of them got in the concert they weren't supposed to get in there. So
That's it, like me. That's what I'm saying. I love R. Kelly.
And he had people to make sure that didn't happen. But just like Trucker said, he didn't have any legit people around him that really cared. So
no, listen.
Setting them up at every concert.
They was giving it to venues. They was giving it to. That was a clinic for females. That was a clinic for females to be on birth control.
Where you going with that though? Okay, what's the point?
No. That's what I'm saying. Minor females, they was giving out tickets. No, lady, I'm not knocking the R. Kelly concerts. He was 18 over. This is what I'm talking about. The Powerhouse is like what? Power 99. They was giving out tickets. Before you not winning them?
I know. I get that. My point is, okay, where are you trying to get with that? I get that. But
they was giving stuff out to minors. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Lady D.
I truly believe it, Dottie.
I was a minor. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When y'all keep telling, y'all keep saying he like minors. No, the power that be. Power 99, when they was giving them tickets out for $10, they was giving out to clinics. They was giving out to stuff. I was a minor when I went. My aunt and them was older than me.
You were actually able to get into the concert. So they let you in the concert at 13.
Yes. I was yes. We was on the upper level nosebleed.
Wow.
Because they was promoting. It's called Covenant House.
That these R. Kelly haters. Did you guys hear that?
I'm not a hater because that's why I love them because that's what
I'm not talking about you, Dottie. I'm talking to the people that the questions, whoever the haters are. I'm not talking about you. I'm using what you're saying as an example. I'm telling them
because
you hear what she's saying.
He was in public announcement. That's what we with Honey Love and Hey Mr. DJ. I know him. He was with public announcement with Hey Mr. DJ. When he first started off with public announcement, he started off with promo.
All right.
I'm an R. Kelly lover. That's Miss D. Yes, I'm grown.
No,
now.
My point was I was talking to the people that dislike this man, thinking he goes after these underage. You admitted that you were 13 years old and you were.
I was 12, and my aunt and them.
But he's the one blamed for that.
Powerhouse. Powerhouse.
You can't bring power up again now. Come on,
I said Powerhouse. No, they do Powerhouse.
I know, but I'm gonna mute you for 1 second, Dottie. Hold on. Hey, Renata, what's going on, babe?
Nothing much. I got a few minutes at the job, and I saw you in live because I snuck out and went in one of the doctor's rooms over there, and I was listening to the oral arguments this morning.
Yeah, that's what the live was really all about, and then we covered that. And then I showed a very old clip of Robert to kind of get people to refresh their memory of this particular clip, because there was a portion in that clip, a part in that clip where they asked him, because he was on top of the world at that time, had money, doing very well for himself. And the interviewer asked him, what if the rug was pulled up from under you and you were penniless again, again, and he couldn't even fathom it, right? He shouldn't have been able to, because he said he worked so hard. And just the fact, girl, that it actually happened, it just broke my heart when I saw that.
Let me tell you, Jennifer, she had so much I know she wanted to say, but she only had limited time. But
Yeah.
what ticked me off, and I had to go into my prayer mode, I had to come out of my flesh and go into my prayer, was when that judge was saying, well, do your client know that if this goes back and get resentenced, he could be facing more time? He could be, does he know that? Did you
Yeah.
tell him that?
Yeah.
And so Jennifer said, well, I talked to him about everything. He even when he got sentenced over there in New York, which he's facing a life sentence, he could possibly die in prison with that 30-year sentence.
Yeah.
He said, but if he goes back for resentencing and they try to give him more, then I'm gonna have to apply appeal again, because I'm gonna feel like that's retaliatory. So she was letting her know, try it if you want to. If you send it back and they try something funny, we just gonna keep on going, because you're not gonna, what she was saying in such a nice way, you're not gonna keep railroading him. You're not gonna keep doing this to him.
I think she did. In my opinion, I think she did an awesome job.
She did. Remember, she only had a few. She had maybe about 10 minutes on the first round. Then the state went, and then she came back to rebut for another 10 minutes. So all that she wanted to say, she had to really bust down the points that she could really.
Right. That's what Dottie. That's what the other Dottie, not this Dottie, but that's what our Dottie.
Yeah, Level News. Yeah. So
Yeah,
she was trying to, do it. So in the small time that she had, in the small frame, she did well. And all I did was say, God, you told me the man was going to walk out. 25 and 27. I don't know what that is, Lord, but I guess you're going to reveal. And I just prayed.
I prayed.
And I prayed. And all God kept saying, what have I told you from the beginning? And I said, you told me many things. He said, I told you recompense is coming. And I'm telling y'all what I am telling y'all, just as sure as I am.
Running rapid. It really has.
And I said, just as sure, watch it. That's why I tell people, I said, I don't just, for me, I would never, I don't even lie. I wouldn't lie on you as a human being. So I sure enough ain't gonna lie on God. And if he did not tell me that, I would have never said he said it to me. And as y'all can see, if you ever heard me say it, just look at what's happening little by little. Recompenses is happening. People are getting their things are happening. Just do things that people were trying to get from him, money and all kinds of stuff is happening. People who've been doing underhanded stuff get locked up. I'm just saying. We're gonna leave it at that. But I'm just telling you,
I just hate that those women were, because see, they want to act like these were children.
Yes.
Those women went in with a mission. They knew what they were doing. You see,
y'all have anybody seen recent pictures of Azriel? She looks horrible, and I'm not being funny.
No, I've seen it.
She looks, and I'm not even trying to be funny. If she looked nice, I would say she looked nice, even though
she hasn't looked right since. When you do something wrong and you know you've done something that's wrong, but they took this man's life away from him. And that's what's so sad. That's why when I hear people speak to the left about him, it really breaks my heart. Because, and that's what that video did, because that's the guy they ruined. That man was just living his life.
We talking about the same guy.
Get that guy. I mean, look,
we're talking about the same
guy. That guy, him, bro, out your chat.
What?
Get the person I don't know how to. I can't delete him from here.
Just him.
Get him out the chat. Yeah.
Right. Saw that guy R. Kelly with. Boy, what the hell you doing though? I don't know if you're a man or a damn woman. What are you doing over here? And the subject is about Robert Sylvester Kelly.
What's that?
What is wrong with you? Go take your ass somewhere and get a damn life and stay off my damn channel with that bull crap. People, get on my nerve with that shit. Who cares how you feel? We on some other shit over here. Coming over here with that old silly ass shit because you ain't got shit to do. We got.
But you know what's funny? Everybody, when somebody else is in the hot seat, when that somebody else is in the hot seat, Auntie, when somebody else is in the hot seat, it's so easy to point your finger. You only know grace when you need grace.
No, but I don't nobody accuse he or her ass of doing. I don't
That's
even know
what this is the point that I'm trying to make.
With that shit. This man looking at 30 years on some BS and you over here, he ha like this shit is some joke. No damn joke.
It's really not funny.
Take your ass somewhere else and stay off my damn channel.
Because if it was you,
Ignorant
you would
ass.
want somebody to be fighting for you
I
like
don't
that.
know. That shit just sends me to a whole
I
nother,
know.
because this is some serious shit. And that's one of them ignorant ass people that didn't take the time to do their homework to see how this shit actually went down. That's what pissed me off with all these people that got so much shit to say. They haven't even taken the time. If you really cared, your ass could do some homework.
Absolutely, and that's why. That's exactly why Brother Jean brought that up at the appeal. That's exactly why she said what she said at the appeal. Because why would she say that to them appellate judges if it wasn't true?
What she
She
said?
made sure that they knew that she wanted to make sure that the world know that wasn't no young underage girls on them tape.
That's right. She sure did. She put that in there.
That's what she hollering at.
She put, but that wasn't even.
They can't say there was some underage girls on the tape.
That's right.
Yeah, because he
She-
showed
Tamara, she sure did.
tried to put that in there. Yeah, I caught that.
Yeah,
caught
Tamara,
Hello,
she
can I
sure
speak on that,
did.
please, lady?
She sure did.
When I was young, sorry.
Dottie.
No. On the underage, no. On the underage, when you said it, Lady D, you know I look like olive oil. You know my cousins love me to talk about me.
Olive oil too, but we ain't talking.
I had a butt. Wait, look, my body was shaped, and they claimed on their tape I was flat chested, looking like olive oil. My cousin used to call me olive oil for Papa, but I had a butt, and I had a baby face. So you cannot tell me everybody was underage on the tape, because my brother looked older than me and they was still carding me. That's what I'm saying. I agree with you.
And I'm 62 damn years old, and I swear, and I'm not exaggerating, I still get carded, which I think that shit is ridiculous. I know damn well I look like I'm of age.
Right.
But some places, I still have to show a damn ID. Well, it might be whatever I may have on it, you know. I don't know.
I know that's right, Auntie.
But Miss Lady D, you know a lot of us back then was really flat chested with apples. We really didn't have big titties.
Dottie, I'm taking you off this damn panel, girl.
I'm sorry, Lady.
We ain't talking about none of that. Come on.
Oh, no, that's right.
Girl, I ain't got time for that.
Tamara,
Dottie, thanks for coming on the panel, baby. But we're not on the same. We ain't talking about the same thing.
But Tamara, she sure enough did. She said,
Yes,
y'all,
she did.
what she was saying in a nice way was, y'all not gonna keep saying he was with no underage girl, and it wasn't proven. She trying to tell him, stop saying that, because you ain't nobody said that on the tape. It ain't been proven. Stop
And for
saying
him,
that.
and she said it because they was trying to say that the judge had reason to say.
That's what.
And he didn't-
Now,
that's
is
what
that?
she said.
Hold on.
He didn't have reason to say that he had tapes that was on trafficking.
Let me ask you a question, Tamara, and none of us is lawyers, but I thought that was odd for that appellate judge. I thought to myself, is that her right to be saying what it was the judge's right because of I thought that was odd. Now I ain't no judge or no lawyer.
Well, they always side with
I
the
thought
judge.
it was odd.
Yeah, they side with the judges.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of odd. I said, okay, lady. I said, I said, there you go, Satan. I said, I see you. You trying. I said, but you ain't gonna win this one. You ain't got no.
Jennifer, let her know I see you too.
She sure did. She sure did. Let me tell you something. Jennifer let her know.
She said the Supreme Court will see it differently. Hey, y'all better
she sure did.
And see, that's another thing. That's why I say, man, our judicial system is sick as hell. Because my mind, let me tell you how my mind went when I'm listening to this judge. I say, now see, this is one of the helpers, knowing this woman and won on so many damn appeals, right? So now you jealous. Now you want to make sure you make it clear. That's where my head went.
I believe so.
She sounds like one of them heifers. She know this woman has won on a lot of damn appeals, and now she gonna make this the one that she doesn't win. But just like Jennifer said, you may think differently, but the higher court, the U.S. Supreme Court, will agree.
She sure did.
She tell her ass.
Exactly.
checkmate. She was letting her know. Remember, you know how, like I tell everybody at the job when people complain about
Yes, she
whoever their
did.
immediate supervisor. I said, well, you ain't got to complain. Everybody got a boss. So what she was letting her know, it don't stop with you. You just the Seventh Circuit. I'll take this all the way to the Supreme.
And that's exactly where it's probably end up going. The only thing I hate about that means Robert has to sit a little longer. That's the only thing
I know.
Says. But you know, she done prepared him for everything. And he's
Yes,
been
she
doing
has.
stuff to deal with this shit.
Exactly.
But it's
Yep.
just sad he has to. I don't understand why this man, why he can't be on house arrest or some shit. Or
I cannot wait till next
this
month.
stuff, you know, till they figure it out. But
I cannot wait till this.
No, I'm just saying, all them women hot. That's why they looking bad and aging so damn.
She looks
quickly.
old. Azriel
Because
looks old.
you done took someone's life away on a lie. You stretched a lie.
And what's so funny? They all said when they was asked, do you think he should be locked up? No.
Exactly. Like I said, I've always said that. That was never the plan. Surviving R. Kelly was a money grab, but they lost control
Make
of
this
the
make
game
sense.
when the government got involved.
Listen to
So
this.
that's
Listen
where,
to
that's
this.
how it got to get the way it is.
You were
Hey,
doing
guys,
so
I'm gonna
good.
put it down in about 10 minutes. So let's get what I wrote out. Anyone else has anything else to share?
No, I was just saying that the girl Jane Doe number 1 or whatever, in the Chicago case, whatever. How this sound? You're doing so good, you know. Before you turned on R. Kelly, I mean, you were really doing all right until the point you turned on him because you went to Section 8. You have to get Section 8 to be able to survive.
Because R. Kelly was helping taking care of her. That's why.
And
That's crazy.
another
But
thing that they done blocked out. Everybody that got on the stand had immunity. Makes no sense to me.
First of all, as a juror, I said to somebody this morning, I was talking about it because we both was listening to the thing. I said, now that would have been a red flag for me as a juror. You mean to tell me everybody up here gotta have immunity? Every witness you gotta have immunity?
With that strong ass case that they had, that's what blows me away.
Thank
because
you.
Your case was
Thank
so
you.
strong. You had overwhelming evidence.
Thank you.
Deprived everybody that got on the stand. Makes no sense. Any
Thank
other
you.
last words from anyone?
no, that's
No,
right.
Auntie, you go ahead to this doctor.
Trucker, any last words to add? I think Trucker's off the air.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyone in the
Yes, Dottie, I will be listening to your show at 4 p.m.
No, that wasn't the Dottie. That was another Dottie. But yeah.
Oh, I'm here.
The
Can you hear me?
Yeah. But that's you talk. The other Dottie been gone. I think. Is she still in here?
No, I think she left.
Yeah. You
Oh,
talking
okay then. Okay.
That wasn't the Dottie that's coming on at 4. That was another Dottie. Dottie Barringham or something like that.
Okay, she left. Okay.
Yeah. But the Dottie from I'll Never Knew, that's who you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she'll be on. She did
Okay.
say
That's
before.
true.
Yeah. We had 2 Dotties today. And
Ooh.
one of them Dotties was, I don't know what's going on with that Dottie. Stop it, Renata.
Okay. Great.
So, hey guys, I have to get out of here. I appreciate all of you guys. Trucker, thank you so much for giving us your opinion on this. And thank God you're a man. And when I hear a man agree with everything that I have been saying since I even started talking about R. Kelly on this channel, it just makes me feel so much better that I am on point. Because it's common sense. I don't get it. I just don't.
And not
get
only is he a man, but he's a law enforcement man.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. And another thing, Trucker, before you go, don't you find that odd? All these so-called victims, no one ever found, not even one police report.
Yes. I
And
see
all
it.
those women, not one. That's
Okay.
odd to me.
Trucker, they didn't even find the so-called basement where they was where he's supposed to be holding them with buckets and all kinds of crazy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Understand that. They just said
no rape
that,
or anything.
no
Wait a minute, Renata. We got a delay with he responded to what I said.
Exactly.
Okay. You right, Trucker. That was a mess. So they get to sit up there and say, "Oh, I was held in the basement, tied up, and I had to pee in the bucket, and I didn't get no food, and no."
See, that's why I stated.
Go ahead, Trucker. I know it's a delay.
I don't know what Trucker, where you at?
Did you
See,
go?
that's why it was so odd how his conviction was so solid and how he got 30 years so easily.
And Trucker, one more thing too.
No, I'm gonna have to go out again because I don't know. This is messing up on me so bad. Can you hear me now?
It's a delay, Trucker. Come out and come right back. We won't keep you long. I just want to hear what you have to say, but there is a delay.
Ahead.
So come back and come.
Trucker, can you hear me?
Come right back.
Oh, he gonna come back. Okay.
Yeah, there's some sort of delay on his end.
Okay.
But he
Maybe
can
by
hear
his
you.
Wi-Fi.
I mean, he's still in the chat, so you can say what you were saying.
I said maybe with his Wi-Fi, whatever. Maybe it's a little jacked up.
Yeah. But
I was going to also say something about that Rico too. Soon as he come on up here.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Well, I'm a guess what, Auntie? I'm a whole Rico by myself. I don't even need nobody. We don't even need nobody to be a Rico. You can be a whole Rico right by yourself.
Yeah, R. Kelly won by himself. Join the damn pool. You know what I'm saying? It's just
you ain't
sad.
never lied. I said to myself, and I know she gonna get that overturned with the appellate. I know that for a fact.
I just hate R. Kelly. This shit is just crazy. I hate that man will have because he may have to sit through this shit. And but God works miracles, and
he does.
For some reason, I just keep feeling something in my heart. I don't know what it is, but eventually, I'm sure it's gonna surface, whatever it is. But I just don't see that man stand in there.
He's not.
As these people think he's.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I know he's coming up, and I told somebody this morning. I said I'm not even speaking from being a fan of R. Kelly. I'm speaking from human to human, right to right. I'm not. He could have been a normal man, and if
I keep thinking about what Tamaria was saying, that it was 2 females and a male judge. Now, usually in appeals, each panel member will have something to say.
Yeah.
So his ass was just up there, so you can't claim that it was a biased ass panel because they were all female.
Well, you know what? I pray
another ancient ass. How old? Probably was 90 something.
I know.
On the panel.
Well, I pray they do the right thing, Auntie. But if they don't, Jennifer already put them on notice. We'll see what the Supreme Court has to say.
Yeah, I get it. But I'm saying that shit, it's the same shit. They really have taken this man's life, man. That's why it got to be a miracle. Something, I don't know. I just got this feeling. I don't know what it is, and it's been with me for a minute. And that's why I speak the way I speak. For some reason, I just feel somebody messed up somewhere so badly. All these, I just feel like it has to be thrown out. I don't know.
Worry, Auntie.
I don't know.
You'll feel it. You just keep on in your faith, because I'm with you. And those of us who are standing here, we are really, I believe that with everything I am. And if I'm lying to you when I tell y'all recompense, you have seen it with your own 2 eyes. And I'm saying to you, he's going to walk out of there. I'm telling you. There's going to be a significance to 25 and 27. I told y'all that. Just wait and see.
Hey, I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to come back. I really have to shut this.
Okay, you go ahead, Auntie.
Thank you, Renata. Thank you, both Dotties. Thank you, Daddy Lolo, which you never got a chance to talk. Tamaria, thank you guys so much. Everyone in the chat. I know I didn't get a chance to shout out any of you guys because there's so much going on. Thank you all. Thank you all. I really don't know what to say about today. I really, really don't. Only thing I can say is what I've always said about Jennifer. She's no joke. She did what she could do. You know, this is the hand that was dealt to her, man. And she's doing what she can do. And I'm going to continue to pray for that miracle that man is out of there much sooner rather than later. Okay?
Auntie, real quick before you go, real quick, let me just say this, and I'm off because I got to go back in. This is when God does his best work. When it seems like all the odds are stacked against you and your back is against the wall, and all you just standing and being surrounded by your enemies. This is when God does what he does best. Because in doing that, when the odds are stacked against you, can't nobody get the glory but him. So this is when God does his best work. It's okay. Let them sit up there and think they doing something if they even try. Even now, when they look at his case and make a decision, even if they want to go the way that lady was talking, she ain't gonna be able to. I'm telling you, because God is gonna torture her conscience. I'm telling you.
I just want to end with Robert. Oh, Robert, hang in there, buddy. Yes,
that's right.
Yes, you have definitely been dealt the worst damn hand ever. And I still can't believe they did it to you. But I do know, even you always speak about faith. So I know you know this is nothing but the devil. This is nothing but the damn enemy that's coming at you. But hold on to your faith, brother, because you will be coming home. Because everyone on this channel and in this chat, we believe that. So just hang in there. Your day is coming.
Your day is coming.
What? Your day is coming. Take care, everyone. I'm going to end this stream. Talk to you guys soon.
Okay. Good luck at the doctor.
Thank you.